Opa! Welcome everybody to episode 100 of Stavvy's World. We have an incredible episode with two favorite Sam and Rachel coming up right now. But first, I gotta tell you, we are in theaters, baby. Let's Start a Cult, my movie. I co-wrote it. I star in it. Please go see it if you haven't. We are in a ton of theaters. I think we're in over 100 theaters as of this release of this podcast. We have it here somewhere. Eldest will put it in post. You get it. Please, right now, go to stavvy.biz/movies/movie. Check and see if it's playing near you. And if it is, please go see the movie. It's under 90 minutes. It's a stupid comedy, vulgar, dumb jokes. If you love this podcast, if you love what I do, you're going to love the movie. And it would mean a lot if you checked it out. Now, please do that. And without further ado, let's start episode 100, baby. Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-3. Why don't you have the fucking thing up?
800.
904-800 Stav. It's episode 100. I still don't know the episode 100. I still don't know the number by heart. Which is kind of insane. 100 episodes. Sam was actually, you were episode number 1.
I told you I didn't want to be on with him. He brings my brand down.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were episode like 9 or something.
I talked to my lawyer about this legit already.
That Me Too won't stick. I'm good.
Bulletproof
bag, baby.
Won't stick is great. Like an allegation with no legs.
You had your chance. There was 6 months in 2019 where it might have worked, but we skated. But Harvey went down. Harvey died for everyone's sins. He's sort of like Jesus. It's Harvey and Epstein.
You're right. Every other fucking shrine to him.
Diddy, we need diversity.
You're right. Yeah. Even the Illuminati have diversity quotas. They're like, all right, we need one black as well, not just.
I love that they were saying, like, with all the baby oil thing for Diddy, there was like the 1,000 bottle thing, and then they're like, oh, maybe he got it at Costco, and even Costco was like, he didn't get it.
Yeah,
like they put out a press release.
Yeah, we don't sell baby oil.
Yeah, it wasn't us. Oh, sorry.
What I saw, by the way, a lot of the headlines about Diddy are amazing. Like one of them was Diddy like has new troubles or something. I'm like, troubles? What a mass. Yeah, that's such amazing. Like, oh, rough patch.
It's
like,
just a little rough patch.
He's like feeling down today.
Yeah, he is
going
down.
Needs to be on St. John's ward. I'm like, what the fuck?
All you need is a little zinc and a good night's rest, Diddy, and you'll be right as rain. Yeah, he really was a supervillain, huh? Just living, you're just allowed to live that way for a while.
And what's amazing is that you called him a mensch. What did you mean by that?
That was, well, see, I don't know. I consider every Yiddish word a curse. So I don't actually, anything Jewish, Greek people find negative. So I thought I was,
schmuck.
Right. I thought I was being very negative
I was just
towards
confused
him.
because after it all came out, you texted me underrated genius.
Yeah, Eldest is really distraught because he looked up to a producer that worked with a very fat, talented man who Eldest was planning to have me taken down like Biggie. Yeah. Eldest was planning to become the podcast Puffy.
Hopefully Eldest doesn't outlive you.
I actually was a huge Puffy fan when I was a little ass kid.
I remember that. I would literally go to Eldest's house, and I remember it was the Godzilla. When Godzilla was coming out,
I had the Godzilla soundtrack.
You had the Godzilla soundtrack.
Like David Bowie
the
song.
Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
Yeah. Eldest was a huge fan. We listened to the soundtrack. That video, where it's the Led Zeppelin sample.
Yeah, it was Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Robert Plant, underage women as well.
Yeah. I mean, every musician.
Everyone we like.
Yeah, every musician until I guess maybe 6 months ago, and even then, it's like it's probably
they were just. The new crop.
Yeah.
Bieber was. He didn't do this.
Yes.
Somebody actually had this take like in a comment. They were like, "Well, let's wait till more allegations come out." I'm like, "Come on!" Like, there's like 120 like lawsuits. Where there's smoke, there's like it's not.
That guy, whoever said that
my
is
grandma
looking.
told me that when I was a young girl.
She really didn't want you to smoke cigarettes.
Like,
The Marlboro Man.
Anything you want. Follow all your dreams. Where there's smoke, there's.
I love that everyone's like, the tapes are going to blow your mind. I'm like, no, we're expecting.
I think I know.
I don't think it's going to shock us that much.
I think I know, yeah.
Blow your mind is what they say about a summer blockbuster.
Godzilla, dude. That's one of my favorite movies. Come With Me, dude. That was a banger.
Oh, man, yeah.
Bad Boy for Life. That was. I remember when Brady and Gronk had like their big comeback. They came back to like bad. It was like, Bad Boys for Life. You know.
Bum, bum.
That was a cool fucking riff.
Is Mace going crazy? Have you been keeping tabs with him at all?
Mace is actually, he has a podcast with Cameron.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That looks fucking awesome. I think
has he been saying anything?
Was Mace involved in the Diddy thing? Because that's my walk-up music.
I don't think so.
It feels so good.
I don't think
really?
It's an amazing song. Mace is so underrated.
Mace is awesome.
Harlem World, great album.
Yeah, you were a big Mace fan as a child as well.
Cameron was great.
Of course.
Yeah, it feels so good. Incredible song, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one. But I was just wondering if I wonder if he's been saying anything about all the Diddy stuff, or if he's waiting.
I don't think he's come out saying anything specific. I think I saw a clip where like Cameron and him were talking about it, and they were like just making jokes, but he wasn't saying shit really. Yeah.
Well, keep tabs on it, folks. This is we're just covering the Diddy stuff. Except probably by now he's been killed in jail. By the time this episode comes out,
committed suicide.
Yeah. By now, Hillary Clinton's fingerprints are being wiped off his jail cell as we speak. Oh man, yeah, that is. He really did have a crazy
and Bill really skated by. He was at the DNC.
Yeah. I mean, he just fully was on the island. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is insane.
Everyone's just allowed to be a.
Yeah.
He's like, and no one gives a fuck. It's insane.
I will say one thing about Diddy, though. He was a great dad.
Yeah, didn't he? Aren't people saying his son is his protege? Was like his protege?
Really?
Yeah. I saw one TikTok. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. I don't even know who his son is, but.
God, can you imagine?
It's like Cat's Cradle, but instead of catch, they're just.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, they're just oiling up Meek Mill in a Miami mansion.
Fuck that. His
poor
name is
Meek.
The one that. Damn. Yeah.
Poor Meek. That poor man. He just. I think Meek Mill's life was he did like a monkey paw wish to I want to fuck Nicki Minaj, and then it happened, and then everything else. Drake humiliated him. Diddy probably did some untoward things with him. It is. I bet you a lot of like. There's probably guys out there who want everything silenced so that people don't know that they were like, worked over by Diddy. I bet you there's probably like some like macho dudes that are like, the records must remain sealed. I don't want them to know, and I won't even speculate.
I don't want to change up my Spotify playlist. I want to keep this shit.
What's fascinating to me is that like J-Lo has like been completely silent and also posting a lot too. Like, like I'm like I keep waiting for her to make a statement, and it's just like her doing like a horror crawl. Like I'm back again.
Yeah. She's smart. She needs to continue whatever's going on with Ben Affleck because that's so funny that people are like, who cares? Who cares if she was accomplice to sex crimes? In the 90s.
I just saw a New York Post thing. It said Ben Affleck dyes beard amidst divorce woes. I'm like, you're talking about just let the guy walk.
Yeah.
He can't. He's dying his beard. He's not in a good place.
Dyeing your beard is a next level divorce guy move.
It really is.
That's fucking crazy.
It is dark terrain. You're right.
Yeah.
He just always looks so furious. I just love how he slams a car door every time he gets out.
I mean, he's a man who was made to be divorced. Like as a baby, it was like this baby will thrive as a divorced 50-year-old millionaire. He will that's just
he made a monkey paw wish too. He gets an Academy Award. He gets to fuck all these actresses, but he will never be happy.
Yeah,
that's his monkey paw.
I love him. He's he makes such great stuff. Town's great.
Yeah,
Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone's incredible.
Insanely good movie.
He's always just red and furious. Yeah, and definitely my type for sure.
Smoking. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he has an anger problem. Yeah,
your husband's
unhappy.
Your husband's got a little something. Your husband's got a little some Affleck vibes to him.
Might throw you down a flight of stairs. You'd forgive him. He'd be like, "I'm so sorry, baby."
Yeah, he just looks like he's like an emotional desert, a guttural alcoholic. Like, what's not to fucking love?
Yeah.
He's gonna blow all your money at some dumb casino.
Was there who was the first one of like? Because I feel like you were. Every like childhood story that I hear about you is like you were just such a pure dumb soul that you were just that the world just like you had no preparation for like people being mean to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just seemed nice. So it's like, was there like when you get to New York and I also love the little detail that didn't you live? Who were your roommates? It was a hilarious roommate situation.
Well, I was roommates with Sherrod. I moved with a guy in his band called Dick Sister, so I was like the Yoko Ono of Dick Sister.
Sherrod and Dick Sister. That's awesome.
I lived with a band called Mongrel Bitch, and it was like a studio apartment.
That's incredible.
It was just the lead singer of Mongrel Bitch was on the top bunk, and I was on the bottom, and I would come in like at like 3 a.m, like I'd kick off my boots like a fucking gross slut. And it was her and her daughter, and she'd be like, "Mommy, who's that?"
Yeah. You lived in a studio apartment with
the woman and her daughter.
Oh my god.
And then I met a Bengali family on the Greyhound after Dick Sister dumped me, and I moved in.
This is the saddest start to a memoir right there.
This is incredible.
I know.
It is.
I know, and it's all completely true. Like there's not an aspect of it I'm exaggerating.
And
there
was the guy who faked that he was in the service.
Oh yeah, I did date a guy for a while that pretended to be in the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Hold on. This is so much better than I was just remembering Sherrod. I thought that was gonna be good. I didn't realize there's like 8 weird living situations. So you get off the Greyhound bus from Montgomery County, Maryland, and you get to New York. What's the first like living situation?
Was Dick Sister. I moved with Dick Sister, and
were you dating someone in the band?
Yeah, I was dating the lead singer, and then
Dick
he dumped
Sister.
me, and then and he kept like re-dumping me, like the dumps weren't taken. I just kept being like, it's me again. Just like
you're on the phone with your parents. Dude, Dick Sisters is going to be big. You have to understand. I'm riding this train all the way to the top.
And my mom had like no follow-up questions because she's just that's how liberal she is. She was just outside in a dashiki like that. Like no follow, and then like nothing. Like it was like. By the way, he was 5 years older than me. It was like statutory rape. I think my mom was like, I like.
How old were you?
Yeah, I was like 15. We started dating,
what?
And he was like 20.
Wait, it literally was statutory rape. I thought you were. Dick Sister had some Diddy stuff going on. Did Sister.
I thought you were like 21 in this story. I didn't think you were.
I was 17 when I moved to New York.
Okay.
What the fuck? This honestly.
Then I met a family on the Greyhound. A woman. I was weeping after being freshly dumped by Dick Sister, and this woman.
Had to catch up on your algebra homework.
Greyhound.
You were sad. You helped him file for Social Security benefits, and you were trying to get the quadratic equation down. And some Indian guy helped you with it, and he was like, "Come live with my family."
R. Kelly tapped you. He was like, "You should come to this party. It's really good. It's a good time."
I will say, I want to hear more details, but I will just make a quick aside that you're the best example of how good positive thinking can be for a person, because what you're describing is horrific. Everything you've said is horrific, and you just have such a you would be fine to be a traumatized, useless person in society, but because you're have a positive outlook, it really, it's awesome. People look to Rachel, guys.
I mean, I'm not well.
Yeah.
Great if the second half of this pod was just her crying.
She's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm out.
Just weeping.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm clearly unwell. Yeah, I found a guy on the street who was he was like a construction worker, and I thought he looked like Paul Newman. I was like, oh, he's hot. And I think I was with Marina Franklin actually, and she was like, he's your type, looks like Paul Newman, and he's red-eyed and drunk.
He was like, hey baby, let me lick that pussy. And you're like, I'm gonna give this a shot.
Wow, it's Cool Hand Luke. Oh my God, it's Butch Cassidy.
He pretended that he was back from a war, and I was
so it was just on the street, truly, you just saw a guy
outside stand-up New York. Yeah,
okay,
Kind
nice.
of proud of man. He was really hot.
Nothing good ever happens there.
Yeah,
it's a rough club.
Yeah. You barked in a guy and then dated him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like, I just got back from a war. And I was like, oh, it's kind of hot, And like, we did some shots. And then the next day he came out and watched my show. And I bombed so violently. And I was like, oh, this guy's never going to want to see me again. And then he met me at the bar. And I mean, it was like a violent, like an emergency bomb where you feel like you need to be lifted out of the space.
No,
like
you're
with
just
a crane.
sweating.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
And I meet him at the bar and he was like, I got something to tell you. He knew it was the right moment. He's like, I was never in the war.
You bombed so bad.
Yeah.
It excused his stealing valor. He was like, me and this person are equals. She's so unfunny that she will accept that I lied about serving in Desert Storm.
he started not walking with a limp anymore.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Really? Oh
he faked a limp until I got on stage.
Wow, holy shit.
How did you know that?
I don't think you told me that part. That's amazing.
Yeah, he absolutely faked a limp, and then he was like, the limp wasn't real, and I was like, it's okay.
Holy shit.
I still thought he was better than me because he had an apartment, and he was like a foreman on a construction site.
Yeah.
And he was always sorry, which is very hot to me. So he was always like,
number two, he's like, I don't really work at a construction site. I just got this hat somewhere, and I've been standing on the corner.
I had to do despicable things to a member of the village people for this hat, but I knew it would help me get impressionable teenagers on the street. You were impressed he didn't have a bunk bed as an adult.
I was. That's all it took for me. It was literally a person that had an apartment.
Yes,
and I was oh, they're above me. Like he was shit-faced. Every night would end at us in a Port Authority bar and him just glaring at some
Authority.
Those are some good bars around there.
Okay,
actually.
all right.
That was a good dive.
All right, I take it back. I forgot I'm dealing with an alcoholic.
Hey, shout out
This
Rudy's.
guy sounds all right.
Rudy's, you get a free hot dog with every round.
Oh yeah, that place spot. Is cool.
44th
yeah, now hot dogs got me in. Yeah. All our vices. Men that are back for us drink and food in a row. All right, so we all need to just start hanging out at Rudy's. That's where
I used to call AA like the hotline every day, and I'd be like, you don't understand. He's an alcoholic. They're like, yeah, he has to call. He's never going to call.
Right.
He thinks shots are the problem.
Yes.
Like, it didn't even occur to me that I shouldn't be calling AA every day to get him sober.
How many drinks are we talking?
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. I mean, at a certain point, he was just kind of rocking and falling forward. And then he would glare at some woman at the bar. Like he was always starting beef with somebody. And I'm like, there'd be some old 65-year-old divorced lady. I'm like, what beef could you possibly have with Virginia? Like, and he'd be like, and he always accusing me of like not having his back. He's like, you never back me up. You never fucking back me up in a conflict.
What the fuck? And how, so wait. So this. I need the chronology. You literally do need to write a memoir. This is fascinating.
Yeah, you really should.
The chronology is you're how old and how old is he now?
At that point, I was at our Dick sister and I had already fallen
Dick
apart.
sister's over.
Yes.
You're living with the Bengali family?
With the Bengali family.
This was Dick sister the early years.
Yeah, this is post Dick sister in the prime of the Bengali family.
Yes.
And where were you living? Like in Queens?
And I was, and I met him, I guess I was about 23. And then he was like 33. And I moved in with him right after he told me that he wasn't really fresh from a war. I was like, let me give him a suitcase.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing.
Were I'm going to guess the Bengali family lived in Queens?
They did. They lived in Woodhaven, Queens.
And you needed to be in the city.
Yeah.
You needed to fuck for shelter in Manhattan.
It was kind of part of it.
Yeah.
Well, he lived closer to the city. He lived in West New York, so we had to take a bus like right over that
my
bus.
God.
Yeah. I know, this is so dark.
He didn't live in the city.
By the way, you guys, every day I was like...
laugh is killing me right now.
By the way, every day I was like, I can't believe my luck.
Yeah, you're like,
this blue-eyed man.
The Big Apple.
Looking back, did he kind of look like Paul Newman, or was that
Yes,
just...
he was very high.
He was probably high.
He was jacked, and he would just come home just fucking red-eyed, just full of lies. I was sifting through garbage. I'm like, this is liquor. This is liquor.
Yeah.
He's like, babe, I'm not fighting with you tonight. I'm not taking the bait. That's what he'd say.
He's just reliving whatever divorce he just went through. He like is fully going through his first marriage.
Taking the bait is good.
Awesome.
He's gaslighting you.
Yeah.
You stumble into the apartment like, You can't keep doing this to me. Yeah. I love throwing that on someone. Oh, that's good.
None of your rhetorical tricks tonight.
He said that once right before he passed out. I was like, "You are drunk, Chris." He's like, "I'm not drunk. I'm not taking your fucking bit." And then he just softly fell forward into the carpet.
That's fucking incredible.
I'm like, "Your nose is broken." He's like, "Babe, I'm not doing this."
Do you keep tabs on him? Have you seen where he's been?
He messaged me a few times, but
Awesome.
I've not talked to him in many years. I mean, it would be Dave Juskow invited him to his football pool because he thinks it's funny to invite every guy that I've ever broken up with to his football pool. So I know he's still in Dave's pool. Whenever I leave someone, Dave's like, "Well, I heard his side." I'm like, "Fuck you, Dave."
That's such a bizarre technique to just like befriend your friend's exes.
He's
He
fucking
thinks
with
it's
her.
hilarious.
He's fucking with
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Dave is
yeah.
hilarious.
Dave is
He
very
really
funny. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he does. He thinks it's funny to ask them all to be in his pool. And they're all in his pool, by the way. Even Chris's brother is in his pool. Yeah. And he's like, he made some good points. And I'm like,
This
"Dude,
is
on the
so long ago.
Yeah,
Dark.
I know. He's still in his pool, like, for many years. Yeah. He keeps in touch with all of them.
What
yeah.
the fuck? That's
Yeah, like
awesome.
my ex that cheated on me with the bartender, he's like, he was actually really sweet when he explained what happened to me. He got blown, and I caught him.
how'd you catch it?
I like walked into the bar. And he was like in the back finishing up a
Wait,
blowjob.
you guys were at the bar together and
Yes.
he popped back?
No, I came in to like check on him because I had a
okay.
feeling he was up to things.
But you
By the way,
And he just finished?
he just
He's
finished.
zipping his
Wow,
pants up
that's-
like, not tonight, honey.
Yeah, I'm not taking the bait.
And I told my mom all this, by the way. My mom, who's like a bleeding heart liberal. Anybody that's not white, she always sides with
Was he-
him
I
over
thought he
me.
was white.
He was Puerto Rican, this guy.
okay.
And I go, Mom,
Okay.
I was like, he got a blowjob. And my mom was like, well, you don't understand.
It's their
institutionalized racism.
She's so liberal, she's racist. Hispanics can't help themselves. They're kind of closer to animals than a white man.
That is crazy you walked in on a blowjob. That is some dark shit.
He was finishing it up.
That's the worst part.
Yeah. Oh, hey, honey.
Mid blowjob's bad, but him just coming is so much
So
worse.
much worse. So much worse.
Meanwhile, my mom was like, you need to have some compassion. His mother was incarcerated.
I love the guys you're picking, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
Your mom raised you to be so open-minded that you made horrible, horrible choices.
Yes, and she always will side with the guy.
Interesting.
Unless he's glistening white, and then
Yeah,
he's the
yeah,
devil
yeah.
as far as Karen's
Interesting. Very interesting.
concerned. Yeah, she's always like, try to bring in the childhood when you think about it. I'm like, what? What the fuck does his childhood have to do with him getting sucked off in a bar?
Well, maybe, as a kid, he put his dick in Play-Doh every time he had apple juice. And that's kind of like going to the bar when you're a kid. And, were you sucking his cock at the bar? Because if not, he needed that. And maybe you're being selfish. That's so fucking funny. God damn. What a run.
That is a crazy walk-in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mid-dicks, or to
I
the
mean,
end
he
of the
was
dick suck.
like pulling his pants up. Like I didn't see the act. Like I just
Sure.
saw him kind of tighting afterwards.
Right.
And he tried to tell me some sort of tale.
Maybe he didn't finish that. In
I
that,
do
in
have
that
to-
case, I feel for him. I mean, that's tough.
In some ways, I am shocked. Like, so you just let me get this clear. You guys went to the bar together, or
No, I went
he
to
was?
the bar to see what was going on.
Oh, so you knew he was at the bar.
because
I
he
see.
wasn't coming home, and
I
then
see,
I
I
came
see.
there, and he came out of the bathroom with
Mm-hmm,
another young lady.
Yeah. Okay. Because if
She
you were
wiped her lips off, and
Yeah.
I put two and two together.
if you were at the bar and he somehow managed to negotiate a blowjob while there with someone else, I would have to begrudgingly respect him more than I felt sorry for you.
fair.
Because that would have been an insane move. And I don't even understand how. Like, I remember one time I was riding my bike in Baltimore, and there were like guys in jail, like they take them out to like do community service, like clean up the park or whatever, and they're hitting on women, and they're actively in jail. and they're like, I'll be home soon, you know, like trying to get pussy from jail 6 months in the future, and I'm like too shy to talk to them as a free man. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm like, I really wish I had some guys, you know,
but they have nothing to lose. That's why they're doing it.
Perhaps, but
and a lot of women date
those guys aren't getting Me Too'd.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're not wearing a yellow jumpsuit. Or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember the color.
And a lot of women do date guys in prison, and they like and they have multiple girlfriends too. It's not like they have one.
That's awesome.
They have to fill up their whole commissary account. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. You need some ramen. You need some Laffy Taffies.
Yeah, who's gonna freaking get you gum?
Yeah.
We've all seen those docs though, where these serial killers have women like waiting for them.
Yeah, but that's another thing though. That's like they're so crazy. Like that's a woman that's insane. You know, that's a specific kind of like.
But there's prison dating. Like I remember years ago, Mackie and I went on that as like a goof, and then we were like, look at these fucking, and then we're like, there's hot chicks up here. Yeah. You get roped in. You're like, they're not bad.
Oh, come on, with theft? Who care? Whatever. You know, it was a felony because it was a diamond ring. I don't fucking care.
No, if I could, I'd be like the Robin Hood of pussy and take it away from these prisoners.
Right.
And bartenders. And good men to deserve it. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's a noble. That's a noble goal. If you're working to reverse global warming, we'll transport you. We'll do it like We'll do a switcheroo right in between.
There should be programs for like the most dangerous people and the most heroic people, like potential school shooter pussy program. Scientist pussy program, you know, help everyone out.
Yeah, you're
interesting.
Right.
I'm thinking, you know, maybe we do a charity show, town hall, we get some comics together.
Yep. And these would be who's blowing them? You think professionals?
Yeah, we need some pros in there.
Oh yeah, if it's pros, that's
pro
true.
bono.
I just would feel bad, kind of tricking women into sucking off school shooters.
No, we don't trick them.
Yeah.
We say, you know, there's people that sign up for the military.
I'm that kind of guy, you know what I mean? Call me a bleeding heart, whatever you want to say. I just would feel bad doing that.
Empathy might get in the way when it came to grooming girls to blow school shooters. It's an incredible sentence.
I never said grooming. I'm talking adults.
Yeah, someone's projecting here, dick sister. Damn.
I just might feel bad. It's incredible.
Right. There were a good amount of qualifiers, I guess, in hindsight. I could have been a little more definitive about that. Man. I'm sorry. That's so you get, just to keep going with the chronology real fast.
Okay.
This guy's out. This Paul Newman's out, or you break up with him, whatever. Is that when you move in with the family in the studio apartment, the single mother and the daughter?
I think that was actually, I don't know if that was immediately after. It might have been like one or two before. Okay. I mean, the trauma starts to blend in.
Sure.
But I think it was before, actually, that I was in. And then because I remember when I left him, I asked him, I was very direct. Well, I said to him, I was like, you know, he said his biggest regret in life was not being in the military. And I said, you deserve to be with somebody that doesn't think that's hilarious.
That is so funny. Because I don't respect people, you know, in the military. But I really don't respect someone who wishes he was in the military and couldn't do it. It's like the dumbest guys of all time.
Remember Bill Hicks' bit where he's like, I support the war. I just don't support the troops.
Yeah.
You know? I love that bit so much.
That's an incredible bit.
So good.
Yeah. He would also what also almost offended me more than him being a code red emergency alcoholic was that his movie choices were so dumb.
Ooh, give us some examples.
He loved that movie. I don't know what it's called, but it's about The Rock and his niece, and he kept watching it again and again and like repitching it.
The Rock?
Yeah, and it was like some movie. I think it's The Rock hangs out with his niece, and he's like, "No,
is he a football player?"
I kind of remember this. He's like in a ballet costume or something.
Yeah, and he's like, no, but he's really big and she's tiny. And then they're doing stuff together. I'm like, yeah, I understand it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever.
The game plan? Does he sorry.
I think it's called The Game Plan, maybe.
Does he play a quarterback? It's his daughter.
Yes.
It.
He's like, but look, she's really little.
Wait,
but he's like forced to do stuff with her.
This is crazy.
He watched this almost children's every movie. Day. I walked in.
146 mil worldwide. This is a hit.
Right I have seen this.
He would just sit on our couch, chain smoking Marlboro Reds, and watching The Game Plan.
A children's movie.
This is how, by the way, how does he have fucking shell shock and he never served? Like, this is what you do when you come back and you're like, I need something light.
Yeah, what if I never left and my daughter still talked to me? That's what this is.
And he kept like acting like I didn't understand the irony. He's like, she's tiny, but she's huge. Come on, it's hysterical.
I love that.
I'm more of a Mr. Nanny man myself, but remember that piece of shit?
What's the Tooth Fairy movie? Isn't there one?
Oh, maybe that's it.
Is that with The Rock or is
he
that
also
Vin
likes
Diesel?
movies where like you bought a house.
Yes.
And, oh my god, yes,
Tooth
he
Fairy.
loves this. He watched this too.
Wait,
Yeah.
Everything you say sounds
17.
fake, Rachel.
17%.
70%.
Yeah, and it's 100% true. My brothers were like, they were so disturbed by him. They were like, this, you can't, they were like, you must dump him before this family wedding. Because he would glare at my brothers too. He just got so drunk he would glare. And he was like, Chris just glares at me the whole night, you know?
That's incredible.
I know, he just starts rocking and glaring.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, you're not going to have my back? You're not going to have my back? And I'm like, that's my grandma.
Yeah. Did your brothers, did they stay local? Did they leave? What was their...
they were stayed in Bethesda where I grew up. I know my older brother now, he was living in Brooklyn for a while, but now he's in LA, and my younger brother's still in Maryland and Bethesda. But
gotcha.
like they they were very appalled. My brother says that he remembers he was working in New York for a while. He remembers I used to call him at work all the time with just like the craziest situations. Like I'd be like, I need you to pick me up from this guy's house. Like it was always insanity.
What, like something dangerous there or what?
It would be dangerous or just the dumbest shit he'd ever need to be bothered at work.
Yeah,
I never had a bank account, so I had to write all my checks over to him. So I'm like, meet me at Citibank. Like,
you didn't have a bank account?
Yeah. And
what?
Now this checks out. This checks out for sure.
And I just like, I didn't get a bank account until I was like 30 or something. And I was like, every day I would just meet my brother at Pfizer and he'd be like, Jesus, Rachel, all right. And then I'd write all my checks over to him.
And he would just give you cash?
Yeah, and he would give me cash. And like,
I don't know. I'm starting to side with the Paul Newman guy.
Yeah. I know. We are only hearing one side of it. Maybe Jessica's right. We are only getting one side.
He said I called him up once at work and I was like, where's Wisconsin? And he's like, Rachel, like, look at a map. And
He's
like, and why? And I was like, I have to go there tomorrow. It's probably like a road gig. And he said that was like of all the questions because whenever, he's like, I always picked up because I knew it would be entertaining.
Wait, why do you have to call? Why can't you just go to a website to book a ticket? Why do you have to call him?
Not sure. I mean, it's not good. I called my brother to ask where Wisconsin, the layers of stupidity involved in that they're fascinating to me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But I remember
you were just living in the moment. I respect that.
I do remember like feeling like maps, and I still feel like this are kind of confusing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I did once.
I don't have that much spatial
I can't make fun of you
awareness.
that hard because I did once. I did a gig years ago with Joe List, and I booked us. We were like co-headline, like it must have been like 2010 or 11, and it was a casino run. And I think I accidentally booked us in Michigan, and we were supposed to be in Wisconsin or something. Oh. And I booked us a ticket on the wrong day, and then they prorated the gig. And Joe's like, "Did you just fuck me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot." So,
bad
stuff. The wrong city.
Yeah, and then also on that gig, he was like, "We're splitting the driving, right?" Because it was like 30 hours of driving. I was like, "You got it." And then he saw me drive, and he was like, "I'm driving this whole fucking week. I hate you so much."
I think I've heard of the Joe. This is a story I do have both sides of.
Yeah. Joe has complained about me. And let me be the first to say, he's 100% right.
Yeah.
It is all my fault.
He to this day is pissed off.
He's still angry about it. He just had a baby and he's still like scowling every once in a while about me driving.
Yeah, like if any kind of road stories come up, any driving, immediately he'll tell that story.
It was midnight.
I can't drive either if it makes
you're
not
bad
at all. Yeah, and I'm like, I'll drive. Like I have a license, but I'm like, I'll drive, but I'll kill us. Like,
Didn't we just get stuck somewhere and we were like, fuck, one of us might have to drive? Yeah, we were on a road gig. Yeah, where were we? Yeah, we were in Niagara Falls.
Canada,
yeah. And the plane was delayed so bad that my girlfriend's like, "Are you gonna get back? Like, what? Surely, like, whoever you're with can drive you back." And I'm like, looking at Rachel, like, "Nah, I think we're fucked. I think we're in trouble here." Because I was like ready to be like, "Fuck it, I'll drive us." Because I can I'm not good, but confidence goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's all confidence. You fake it till you make
That's
it. That's
insane, dude. That's so funny.
I drove a few blocks the other day. I feel good.
Wow.
And
dude, nice.
she was like, "You're gonna die. God damn it."
Yeah.
But
that's not a short drive.
It was a hot 6 hours.
Yeah.
We were in not Baltimore, fucking Buffalo. We just crossed over.
Wait, did you have to drive or no?
No, we waited a couple hours. They took
We were
off.
stuck on this plane. It was like ground and just kept
Gotcha,
going. The delays
gotcha.
kept getting longer. And he's like, we might have to drive. And I was like, Like, I hit a UPS truck. Like I can't.
Wow.
I totaled my mom's Pontiac Le Mans and hit a UPS truck. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it
Pontiac
wasn't
Le
good.
Mans.
Well, yeah, I'm not name dropping. But
I crashed my parents' car once.
Isn't
but-
that the Le Mans?
yeah.
Isn't that the class you take when someone's pregnant? Le Mans.
Lamaze. Yeah, I think, right? The breathing, is that it or no?
yes, it is Le Mans. But my mom, all our cars were used, and we bought them so many times over because my mom would just be really obsessed with the mechanic. She'd be like, "Did I tell you Salvador has an autistic son?" And I'm like, "He's the reason I'm not going to college." Yeah, she just would get really obsessed with it. And they were like raping my parents. Howie doesn't know like how to change a tire. Yeah.
Jews aren't good with that.
Oh no.
We're not good with maintenance work.
Remember when I was
Yeah.
asking you recently about hanging a picture and you was like, I call my doorman.
I did hang my pictures up, but there was a couple that was like, I don't want to fucking. I just paid a guy to do it.
Yeah.
He's like,
For
oh, that's
sure.
what
But I
you call
hung most of them.
maintenance. I
Yeah.
think he said that's what you call maintenance for. To hang a picture.
That really is the most like
The Jewiest
born in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Lived in Manhattan your whole life.
Worthless, dude.
Yeah.
I
Generous though, he'd tip him well, but he
For
wouldn't
sure.
come upstairs. He
do.
would
And
have
that
a man
would
come
kill
upstairs
him.
for a
my Jewish powers are getting weaker. Oh fuck!
He'd be like, here you go.
They're like, hey, you gotta let go of it.
It's like the end of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, calling the doorman to hang a picture is unbelievable. It's rock star territory.
I do feel like I need to start learning some
I know.
handy skills. My father is a carpenter and like he was a very handy guy. And I think there was an element of like, I'm not learning any of my dad's bullshit. Like an element of
Right.
rebellion to me, not doing any of that. But now I'm like embarrassed. And I have a friend who also grew up not handy at all. And then he's become like he likes it. He takes an interest in it. Like if we have a minor plumbing thing, he'll be like, you know what? I'm just gonna he'll like spend all day on YouTube and learn shit. And I'm like, I would love to have those skills, but going through the process of acquiring them seems like the worst thing of all
It's
time.
never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I will say I've set up some stuff around there, and you do feel satisfaction when it's done.
Dude, I literally like fucking put one of those Brita filters that you put on the sink.
Yeah.
And all I do is like unscrew the like thing with like, I don't know,
I
pliers.
like how he doesn't have any of the words available to him. He's like, all I did was the thing and put it in the thing.
I don't think
and
it's
then
pliers.
I was like, am I a man?
I think it's something other than pliers, but it's a pliers-like device. And I had to fucking yank it, and I was like, I'm Tim the Toolman Taylor, dude. I'm the most handy man that's ever lived.
After
Just because
I've used this pliers-esque device, I'm gonna get mountains of pussy.
Yeah, I'm a fucking handy man.
Yeah, I mean, my husband does all of that stuff
He's
all day.
handy. He's
Yeah.
he's like a real man.
I mean, he rebuilt our
Classic
whole house.
man,
But here's
yeah.
the problem, but yeah, I mean, he's an emotional desert, but like
Sure.
he's like, he goes, we're re-insulating the house when we moved in, and so I'm so Jewish that I was like, oh, when? Like on Thursday? Like I didn't know that means gutting a house. You know,
Oh,
so I was like,
wow.
oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then it was just like 2 firemen over, and we had no walls, and I was living there with like a toddler. I'm like, you gutted my fucking house. Yeah. I'm like, just go to therapy. Like, he just doesn't.
I know.
He just
See, that's the
doesn't
problem.
want to be still.
That's guys like me. Like I can't fix shit, but I can't tell who has narcissistic personality disorder. I've got that skill down.
Yeah, very useful.
I'll diagnose people. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that guy.
Yeah.
In a zombie scenario, I'm not very helpful.
Right.
I don't like that guy. I think he's a
Yeah, that's
narcissist.
interesting. Do zombies lose all neuroses? I guess they're just operating on a very base level.
Yeah, I know. I'm not useful at all.
It's just brain stem.
Just
Yeah,
brains.
they're like sleepwalking. There's
Yeah.
not room for like a lot of fear.
Yeah, there's no zombies feel imposter syndrome. They're like, I shouldn't even eat brains. I was a vegetarian when I was alive.
Yeah, I mean, we have like backup generators, you know.
That's cool.
But
Yeah.
I mean, my husband's.
You have a real
you know,
house.
He only said "I love you," I think, once in our relationship. But yeah.
How many times do you think he's actually said it?
maybe twice. I mean, the first time.
Are you serious? Oh, see, I keep thinking she's using hyperbole for jokes, but it's like this is like troubling.
That's the awesome part of Rachel's stories.
He's said it a couple of times. I mean, this is the way he said it the first time. He got me a dozen roses. We've been dating for like 4.5 months. I'm like, when is this dick gonna say I love you? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It was Valentine's Day. He gives me the roses. There's a card inside. I open it up. And it says, roses, fastest way to say I love you, sides fucking.
Wow.
And I'm
Jesus
like,
Christ.
is this you saying I love you? What the fuck, Pete? Is that your... And he goes, no, Anthony put that in there in the from the firehouse or whatever. So I'm like,
I will say I'm bad at cards too, though. Like I did get my girlfriend a card because we went to Greece, and I got her a card with a sunset of Greece that said, "You suck my weenie in Santorini." Which I thought was pretty good, but she did not laugh at all.
Pretty good.
It's a rough card, I guess.
That's high risk, high reward, man.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I guess that's what you want her to give you. Like, in a perfect world, she's like, I sucked your weenie in Santorini. You would laugh really hard if you got that, but yeah. I liked it he said I love you in an obscene riddle. Like your little card was like, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah, and then he said Anthony from the firehouse put it in there, you know.
So Anthony's now involved in this.
Yeah.
So the first time he ever told you he loved you, Anthony kind of helped and was present.
Exactly. And he still swears. He's like, I didn't even know it was there. So I'm like, okay, so now I'm like back at square one. I'm like, so wait, so do you?
This?
And he's like, yeah, of course. Even after he proposed to me, I was like, what made you know? Like, I'm just digging for any fucking gram of just anything. Like, it's really, I'm just making a cake with you're like your mom. Yeah.
It's like your mom really interrogating a minority who's clearly guilty of something and just trying to find a reason why he's not. Like, that's you're like that.
Wow, that is good.
Genius.
That is really good.
Yeah, I was like, so when did you first know? You know, he goes, I mean, it'll be fun, you know, we'll get a house, we'll get a mower. I'm like, I asked you what?
A mower?
He said, we'll get a lawnmower, we'll get a nice house, you know. I'm like, you're just talking about like things you want to buy with.
Yeah, appliances.
Wife.
Yeah.
Well, that's the package of life I'm on. It's got a wife and a mower, and you're as good as any wife I could have got, I guess, you know.
He thinks he's playing The Sims or something. It's just ridiculous.
That is fucking
I vowed
hilarious.
to never put you in the swimming pool and then take out the ladder so that you cannot get out and that you eventually drown like they do sometimes on The Sims. I vow to never build a house and then take out all the doors and then set it on fire.
No, he can't. He's not.
Oh,
like,
true.
He can't
Even in this,
like, I'll be like, do I look okay? I go, does this look nice? The other day, he goes, denim. I'm like, you can't just scream out of fabric. I'm like, yeah, you can't scream out of fabric. Yeah.
Sometimes
I'll be like, have you ever loved me? I'll be like, 3% spandex.
rayon blend. Sometimes I wonder if like there is, like, especially it's like athletes or firefighters or just like even cops or whoever's around a group of guys.
All my ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, interesting.
Jesus,
yeah. That's so funny because I was gonna say all that type of, like, sometimes I wonder, it's like the people they actually love are their boys, you know. And sometimes I felt that way about myself, where it's like I have always lived with my best friends, like even you know, even the place in Baltimore I got with a buddy because I'm only there half the time, he's there half the time, but it's like. So there's a level of emotional immaturity where you're like, I like women, but I'm still fundamentally scared of opening up to them.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I can open up to my guys in this specific way. Now I'd love to have a woman in my life. And so in my head I'm like, there's like a somewhere between teenage boy and grown man where you're like, maybe I can love my friends but fuck a woman. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's
exactly my husband too.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
never had a female friend in his life. Like,
Interesting.
yeah.
We found a job that's like almost like a play
It's
date.
perfect.
It's
Yeah. It's just
It's
hanging
really
out with
just
the boys.
firemen, right?
Even your job, unless it gets like bad, is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, they love it, and not to
Doing
mention
that
like
shit?
they and like at the firehouse, like they undo everything I've accomplished with them in 24-hour shifts. So he's just like sitting there smoking fat sticks, listening to like every conspiracy theory that's been edited into a YouTube video. It's not good.
Oh, hell
He
yeah.
comes home so much worse. Like half of them are divorced too, so they're like
Yeah.
furious at women.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Absolutely.
Every other firefighter is
That's
divorced.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he comes home, he's like, "Guess who got a divorce?" And I'm like, "Fuck, now you're gonna be even more of a dick today." Yeah, like he always definitely thinks I'm like up to things when and also I'm like, he's been told by many people that women are suspicious or something.
Right.
Yeah, no,
right.
he's not. No, there's no.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, there's no emotional anything. Really.
That's good, and this is
Yeah.
the best. This is the best relationship you've ever been in. It sounds
That's
like.
what Alan Lefkowitz said.
You know what? I'm starting to think that guy's running a real scam because all my friends' lives are not going that good, and we all see him. I just fucking Venmoed that motherfucker a nice fat stack. I'm gonna ask for it back. Yeah, I mean, I guess at some point you're like, all right, get a mower, get a husband. You know, at a certain point, it's all.
Like,
It's kind of like shopping, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Just wrap it up, yeah.
And that's what he likes to talk about too. Like he'll be like the other day, like he was like, "Guess who got a Mazda? Finnegan's got a Mazda." Like, and I'm like, "That's not a story." Like, this
Yeah.
and he was just like, he waited like I was gonna care about this. He's like, "A brand new motor, running good." I'm like, "Do you know your like audience? There's a real
Yeah.
supply and demand issue with this."
What's the what? How, like, does he? What's a firefighter dad like with a little girl? That must be pretty cute.
No, he's obsessed with my daughter. That's how I knew that he was capable of love.
That's good.
The first time he held my daughter broke my heart.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's when I knew I'd have to get that little bitch back. Now just you again become the villain. Where like she stole my man right out from under me.
Everything I'd ever asked him to do, he did when I had a daughter. Like I was like, "You need to stop drinking." Like as soon as I gave him a daughter, like and I'd be like, "You got to come home when you get off work." He races home now, you know. Like so, yeah. I do
That's
know he has
awesome.
the capacity for love. I just don't know that he loves me. Can we play some soft piano music?
That's all right. You're the most emotionally healthy person on this podcast somehow.
That's
You got
true.
me and Sam beat. Eldest actually is doing fine over there.
Whenever I watch him gently encouraging her, like a low roll, tears comes down my face.
Showing her grace.
She's doing like a spin in her princess nightgown. He's like, "You're beautiful just the way you are." And I'm just like, "You said I was denim."
You just walk in, "I love you." You're like, "What the fuck?" Just one. Give me one. Can I piss real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Take a little piss break. This freaking guy and his little ass bladder, you know what I'm saying?
He did. Are we still rolling? Or
Yeah, we can roll. Who cares?
He did when Frankie was throwing a tantrum the other. Like he like loves being a dad. They're like inseparable, the 2 of them. But like he doesn't have obviously the emotional instincts in a lot of situations.
Course.
So Frankie is throwing a tantrum on the floor at the top of her lungs, screaming. And I was like, "Listen, when a kid throws a tantrum, just don't engage. Wait for it to end. Don't make eye." The same thing I do with you, basically. When you're screaming about the founding fathers.
Yeah.
You know when I used to chase you on a beach when you were drunk, screaming about George Washington? And I should have just
How he's rolling in his
Yeah.
grave with his mouth full of slave teeth.
So I was like, that's what you do. You just ignore it, you know? So like, I go, wait for it to be done. There's no engaging. So Frankie, but he can't stand to see her sad. Me,
Sure.
like, you know, fuck. Yeah. Like, so she's in the middle of a tantrum screaming at the top of her lungs. And I was just telling Sam this, screaming at the top of her lungs. And he goes, "So do you want a dog?" I'm like, "Dog!"
Oh my God.
Offer a girl
awesome.
a dog when they're like kicking you in the chest having a tantrum. Yeah. Meanwhile, I asked him for a dog before. And he's like,
that's-
"No,
You went
with
to,
our
like,
schedules, it's not a good idea."
Wow.
My mom was telling me it's funny the stuff you like hear about yourself as a like just off parents just like mention random things. She said I was always like I was a really great like baby, but I would just have out of nowhere insane tantrums that I would just fucking. And I was like, you know what? That really makes sense.
Do you have
'Cause
them
I-
now? Do you have anger?
I think it's like when I would have like panic. I think I was having panic attacks as a baby because I would, and I have anger problems too. But I definitely feel shit I definitely freak out. And I think as you grow up, you learn to just like, just fucking be like, this sucks dick, and just like whatever.
I thought you were gonna say surround yourself with weak people who have to deal with your anger.
Yeah. You just learn to spit on your Albanian producer and say it's his fault, and be like, it better fucking, the edit better be ready in a fucking hour. I swear to fucking God, it's gonna post.
I definitely have anger problems too. Like I don't realize it until like, because it's all in here, but I feel it, dude. Yeah, it'll be moments where I'm like, you see it on like, travel hiccups and stuff like that. You're like, give me a fucking break.
Of course.
I've never seen you really lose it.
No.
I've never seen you scream. I've seen you be really mad at other people, and I'm always like, here's how insecure I am. I'm always like so flattered that he's never been that angry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, he's so much more angry at the travel agent than he is.
Travel agent? What is this, 1992? I don't have a travel agent.
Well, Rachel just got a bank account. She doesn't know you can get doesn't know you can get airplane tickets online yet either.
What's Expedia? I'm just a pair of tits and I don't know.
Hello, travel agent. Where's Wisconsin? I just did this for a phone, by the way. I'm doing the same thing now.
You are. I know. It is embarrassing. Kids you just have to do this now.
Yeah, it's just
or you look like a fucking old piece of shit.
Yeah.
It is so.
What makes you angry? Like, what do you scream about? Like, what? And do you scream?
I don't know.
Or you,
no.
Or do you just get angry?
I just think it was just interesting to hear that anecdote because it makes so much sense. Because I definitely sometimes feel like it's interesting to hear about it when you were a baby before all your family's neuroses got to you. Because I always assumed the anger stuff was because my dad had an anger problem and it's like learned behavior, which it definitely is partially. But she was saying like I would have tantrums when I was like so small, and I do think it's just because I definitely feel that where there's some shit happens and I'm like, I'm useless for like 10 minutes to a half hour sometimes, and I'm like, I can't imagine a baby feeling that way, like how much a baby would freak out. It's like your life's awesome and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm fucking dying, and you're like, you don't even know what death, you just feel so bad. You go from like watching Big Bird to being like, fuck.
What would your parents do when you would melt down like that?
I don't know. I think you just kind of have to ride it out.
Look at me, fucking Diane Sawyer over here.
I don't think I'll say this. Whatever it wasn't the right thing.
Yeah.
Because I definitely didn't learn how to regulate my emotions.
Do you know what my parents used to do? And by the way, my mom is a therapist. My brother was always bright red and throwing like a never-ending tantrum. I just remember looking at him like, I'm going to take some space from that guy. He's on the wrong train.
Yeah.
My mom would just put him in the backyard. Like, and she was just like, oh, Aaron's throwing a tantrum, get him in the backyard. And they would just put him back there and shut the door. And our neighbor behind us used to bring him back to my mom and like bang on the door and be like, Karen, come on. And she'd be like, oh, Jesus, David.
He's having a tantrum. Put him in the hot car for a while. See what happens. Damn, that is fucking hilarious.
He was just always like in a diaper, bright red in our backyard until Bruce Baum came up and banged on the door. He's like, Karen. She's like, I'm making potatoes, Bruce. I need 7 freaking minutes. Like, no, she didn't feel bad about it at all.
You're getting your daughter a dog when she has a tantrum. You went the other way with it.
Yeah, he made your son a dog.
Thank God. I was like, we're not getting a dog.
He's out there digging bones, putting him in the backyard to calm himself down.
He's peeing. He's lifting his leg up.
Yeah, now to come, he has to be wearing a collar. What kind of baby were you, Sammy?
I was, my mom, it's so funny. I was raised by a single mom for the first few years. So I was like her everything. She was on top of everything. Right. But I just did gigs in Europe, and I did a gig in Sweden, and apparently my godfather lives in Sweden. He's like a much older man.
Interesting.
And I was like, my mom's like, he can't. I was like, does he want tickets to the show? She's like, I think that would be a little too much for Johan. And
wow. Who the fuck is this guy?
A friend of my mom's, but it's like, I'm like, yeah, I do have a joke about coming in sinks right now. I should probably, he's like a posh Swedish man. But I was like, man, that would have been my life if my mom died. I just would have been raised by like a gay Swedish man. I was like, it would have been
crazy.
A different life.
You don't know him that much at all?
I know him a little bit, but he's just like I get his newsletter. Like he does like a newsletter.
What is his newsletter?
Yeah, because your mom's an artist, right? So he must have been was he an art guy?
I don't know what his job is, actually. He's like some sort of like important job. I don't know him well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But he's a very
So he's
sweet
your
guy.
godfather, did you say?
Yeah, isn't that kind of weird?
Is that a
First of
Jewish
all, I
thing?
didn't know that Jews had godfathers.
I guess we did. I don't know.
Yeah, like
And
Frank-
I told my mom, I was like, so if you died, I would have been raised in Sweden? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you didn't think that's weird?
Are you sure he
single.
wasn't
It
just
would've
your mom's
literally-
ex-boyfriend?
No, he's gay.
Oh, he's gay. Right.
Yeah, but he, no, my mom was a super protective. It's funny you're talking about like kids being raised because I have a half brother I've never met. So I think about like that nature nurture shit
Yeah,
when you talk
yeah,
about,
yeah.
you know, your siblings. But like, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's similar to me. In
Wait,
any
where's
way.
your half brother?
He's in California somewhere.
Have you ever interacted with him or no?
No, I floated it to my biological father once, and I was like, yeah, I wonder if we should meet sometime. He goes, yeah, I brought it up to him. He didn't seem to bite, and I was like, all right,
Wow.
I'm gonna drop that forever.
Yeah, maybe he's a lot more in common with Dad than I realized.
If I get a little more successful, maybe
Yeah,
I'll reach
yeah.
out.
By the
Who
way,
knows?
your biological father joke is like one of my favorite jokes.
Great
of all
joke.
time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
Great
oldie.
joke.
Yeah,
Really worth it.
When somebody asks if he has a good relationship with his biological, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't refer to him as my biological father if we had a great. Also, one of my favorite, probably most traumatizing to you stories about your biological father, is when Sam
You guys
told
hooked
me
up.
that
You lived in his.
She fucked
You lived
him.
with him for a while. You saw him drunk, shitting on a street corner. You're like, "That's my guy."
Yeah, he looked like Judd Hirsch, and she was like, I could make this work. Yeah.
He does sound like my type. No, I will say, I know he was a terrible father, and I do feel empathy for him, but he was a great lay. And
What, you were talking about the note in the deposit box?
okay, yes,
Yeah.
it's one of the funniest things
She
I've
thinks it's
ever
the
heard.
funniest thing
I'd
ever.
love to hear
He
this.
told me that when he finally confronted his dad or something about basically abandoning him in his
Yeah.
earlier years, his dad was like, there's a note in a deposit box that'll explain everything at the bank. I'm like, this isn't a fucking spy movie.
know,
It's
I
not
know.
the hunt for
That's
Red
crazy.
It was,
October.
by the way, it was a paragraph and a half.
Yeah,
I was like, you didn't really get to much
yeah,
here.
yeah,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I kind of found the chick with bigger tits. And you're like, you know what? I get it.
He's like, it'll explain everything. You
Yeah.
can't do that. You can't. And by the way, you can't tell your kid that. Like, there's 7 more years till he's going to read that note. How about be a father then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead, he's like, there's some wacky map that'll explain everything.
Yeah. You have to fucking do it upside down. Hold it under a black light. It's untraceable. It's just clues. It's national treasure.
What does that say? I got bored. Oh, okay.
It sounded pretty fucking annoying to be a dad. 1 minute you're raw dogging, the next minute you gotta raise a fucking baby. No thanks.
You're like a deadbeat dad. You're not Jason Bourne. What the fuck? It's outrageous. It's outrageous. When you actually went, did you expect it to be something like a?
No,
like,
you know,
knew it was
no,
gonna be
you just,
nonsense.
it's curiosity. It's funny. A lot of people reach out to me about this stuff because it's such a normal thing now. The nuclear
Yeah.
family is like not even normal, but
Right.
all the time people reach out and they'll be like, "What should I expect?" I'm like, "Nothing."
Nothing, yeah.
Nothing. Just if you do it, if you're curious about, and you know, if you have health, if he has health stuff,
Right.
I'm like, oh, cool. You also gave me prostate problems. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
He had like prostate cancer and stuff. He's still alive. Terrible people live forever.
Absolutely.
They really do.
I know.
It's like abandoning your kids is like eating Atlantic salmon.
Yeah.
It's so good for
Well,
you.
but, I mean,
You
people
have to say
say
that on stage. It's
people
hilarious.
say stress is the worst thing for you, and
Yeah.
deadbeat dads don't have a lot of stress.
No.
They're never up late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just
like,
say, child support payment. I don't think so.
not for me. Like, if you're the kind of guy that the guilt of abandoning a baby won't get to you, you're probably not. Too many things probably don't stress you out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You're
No,
never
it's-
gonna have that moment, right? When you think like, "Oh, I'll confront him; it'll all come out." Like,
No.
yeah, if
Yeah.
that wasn't like a
That's like a
nudging
movie
reality-
thing.
yeah.
Or it's like, even think about your siblings. Like, you have a very good relationship with your siblings. I mean, you're really close with your siblings.
Yeah.
But I think like most times when you see in a movie, when people are just like, you know, they're like finishing each other's sentences, brother and sister. I'm like, that's when I talk to my brother and sister, it's like there'll be like an awkward silence here and there.
Yeah,
It's just
sure.
not real.
Sure,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
But
And did you look at me?
No, go ahead.
I need to shut up.
Ask
By
the
the way, I
question.
just explained my dating history, and I'm like, And when did you first feel frightened? What the fuck am I babbling
Well, if
about?
you'd like, Rachel, we can take your expertise to our
I
caller.
really think
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Gail King
Yeah.
here, so we may as well go
I
to
feel like we
caller.
got one. Last time I was on here with Vita, I feel like we got one of the most epic ones of all
We
time.
got some great ones.
That was an
yeah.
epic one.
That
So-
was not a deadbeat, but it was like a guy.
Oh, should I?
Yeah. Should I get back in? Yeah. So let's see what we got. Let's see what Elvis cooked up for us. My guess is not anything that good.
Nothing as good as that one, but there's some good ones here.
What do we got?
It's a long one.
Hey, Stavvy, Eldis, and guests. First time caller, but a long time listener and Patreon supporter.
Oh, very nice.
I just called in with a question, but I just wanted to kind of give a bit more details and maybe talk about it a little bit more. But I just ended a relationship with a woman that I've been dating for the last year and a half, who had some pretty intense mental health.
Let me handle this one,
issues.
guys.
And I'm having a pretty hard time kind of getting past this. I had to kind of end it to preserve, to preserve myself.
Jesus Christ, the fuck.
Because she was kind of lashing out and hurting me and wanting to control
Jesus.
me. But it's hard because you love someone, you understand where a lot of the problems come from, and they've had a really hard life where a lot
Rachel's
of this
mom school of thought.
originated or whatever. You love someone, you understand, and it's really hard not to, at least for me, not to have a lot of regrets about what I could have done, what we could have done differently. I'm going to go see a therapist.
Jesus, this man is fucking
I'm hoping for any
traumatized.
advice as to how to move past dating someone with, there's some incredibly great moments, so many high highs, but the lows were really hard.
Yeah.
And also just, in addition, it's for the last year and a half I've been having by far the best sex of my life.
And there it
Well, I
is.
mean,
Feel good at it.
obviously, of
Feel good.
course.
Yeah.
The more lithium, the better the sex.
For the last year and a half I've been having by far the best sex of my life.
That's what the
with
real
an
tragedy
incredibly
is.
beautiful, attractive, sexy, horny, awesome
Damn,
woman.
This is awesome.
Who I just ended a relationship with.
Yeah.
So, any advice would be helpful because I'm really going through it right now, and I'm doing everything in my power not to, text her and ask for her back. So,
Hilarious.
thanks, man. Appreciate it. Love to hear back. Thanks.
Chemically imbalanced women are for one-night stands, not long-term dating. I mean, get it together. And in terms of calling her back, make bogey your screensaver on your phone. Look at it. Be fucking strong. Don't call her back.
Yeah, hell
What do you
yeah.
think? This is not. This is.
It's awesome that you think Humphrey Bogart is what.
That was the most confusing
it's
part.
what-
That's a man's man right there. He'll remind you. You look at the thing Casablanca. You're like, nah, you don't fucking. You don't. You let her go.
Yeah.
You
By
let
the
her
way,
go.
he said it with no explanation.
Yeah. I only got it because we're such good friends, but that's an insane thing to tell
All right.
a man in 2024.
Followed by the most
Humphrey
insightful
Bogart.
paragraph ever. That's such
Yeah.
a classic Sam. Every one of his texts is just he's either screaming about the Knicks
Yeah.
or be like, Casablanca was epic. And then he's like, I'm still holding on to a lot of anger at my dad. What a power forward
Yeah,
right
just
there.
print out the screenplay of Gone with the Wind and read that, and just every time you want to fuck this girl. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, how many times can you wake up with a hand blender pointed at your nuts before you realize it's time to fucking call it, dude? It's done. I don't know what to tell you, brother. This is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
You know what this is. It's literally like giving up drugs. You were this is a rush. Someone this hot and good at fucking. But bad for you. It's literally like you're detoxing off a fucking drug. It's like any breakup times 10. No contact. Get your mind off it. Maybe you're not ready to seriously date. You might need to just focus, see your friends, do other shit. But
Jack off a lot. Too.
Jack off a
You
good
should be
amount.
flapping around in your bed right now,
good
looking
amount.
up the most haunting things.
You should be putting up middle
YouPorn.
school numbers right now.
But truly,
You should
because
be-
these are full nut texts.
yeah.
These aren't empty ball texts. You
I've
need
had-
to
yes.
empty the fucking sack.
Gotta empty the clip.
Do not empty the clip.
Gotta empty the clip, brother.
Yeah.
Scream Thug Life and empty the clip. Yeah, get the nuts clear, get the mind clear.
Yep.
Because these are you're horny. I mean, of course, I'm sure you missed the good times too. I'm not trying to minimize a
No,
relationship.
he
here,
truly doesn't. The good times were fucking.
but- yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I do think that if you want to, I would say give her a call.
Run
Just
it back.
find out what that first
Yeah.
critical traumatic incident was for her,
Yeah,
and see if you
really.
can take her to your therapist.
You'll
That's
solve
always
it.
worked. When
You'll
I
solve
was
it.
with a guy that put like spyware on my phone, and I was like, "Can you come to my
remember.
therapist with me?" Yes.
I talked a lot of shit about that guy that he apparently heard. I'm not thrilled about it. I was like, that guy's a fucking tool. Glad to know he's got anger
it's
problems.
like, hello, Sam.
I had to set him and say he was like so like every male friend that I had, he was so obsessively jealous with that I had to like set him up in these dates with him. So I was like, "Hey Sam, will you go have a drink with my
Yeah, I was really
boyfriend?"
pumped for
That's
that man.
crazy.
Dave. Oh my god, she's like, please, it would mean a lot to me, so he's not suspicious of you.
You're
So he doesn't
out
give
of
me-
your mind. You
And I
used-
did it. I
you-
agreed.
Rachel used so much friendship capital on that. That's insane.
Oh, dude, she owed big time for that. And he got. I watched this dude have like 8 Jamesons on the rocks.
Yeah.
And then he hugged me for way too long, and I was like, I don't like this guy.
He's like, all right, Sam, I'm gonna go talk to the bartender real quick. You stay here. Good hanging though, man.
By the way, it wasn't my idea. It was his. I just didn't want a black guy.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll do a sit down with Sam. I'm like, this ain't The Sopranos, motherfucker. I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you.
That's
Every
crazy.
time
I did it straight up for friendship with Rachel.
Yeah.
No, every time I would get to I was writing a pilot at the time, and every time I would get to the pilot offices, it was like he was just sitting outside, just with this wild look in his
Oh my
eyes, like
God.
like
He was
Soder-
shaking with anger.
Yeah, if he was shaking with rage, Soder or Giannis would be like, "Hey, your boyfriend's on the steps again," or whatever.
Oh
like,
my
whatever.
God.
Yeah.
He was shaking with rage. He was a scary dude.
Insane, yeah.
And every time he would always fake a panic attack, he would always be
For
like,
sympathy?
I need
Yeah.
you. Or he'd be like, one time he was like, I had a heart attack. You didn't have a heart attack. You just don't like that I'm editing in a room with 2 other men in it. He was
Yeah.
always
I was in that
faking
room
heart
too.
attacks.
Remember that?
Yes.
Now
I
let
do.
me ask you this, because with women that insane, pussy's incredible. A guy like that doesn't seem like he'd be good at fucking.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he was. All right, well, I take it back.
He's listening right now. He's like, I'm right back in.
And I'm in the game, baby.
Back in the game.
I'm in the game. Her firefighter husband has one big crypto loss, and I'm back.
No, I mean, yeah, stay far away from this.
Yes,
this
you
one.
gotta
Mentally
get
ill
out.
people are great in the sack. No, everyone knows that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes I actually believe at a certain point you're never gonna fix yourself. You're never fully gonna fix what's wrong with you. And sometimes the ideal is that your mental illnesses align in a perfect way where you're good for each other. Because you're not gonna find somebody fully healthy. You're not gonna be super healthy ever. So, but this is not that at all. There might be somebody out there for her. There's definitely somebody out there for you, but you gotta stay away. It's just classic breakup rules, man. There's no secret. There's no easier way to get through it just because the girl was hot.
Yeah. And if you left something in her house or something, just try to be an adult about
It's
it.
over.
Just be like, look,
no, don't even get it.
Just be like, look,
Don't
I
get
left
it.
the hair in your sink.
Yeah. So maybe I could just come in and just chill for like
We'll
3 to
meet at
4
like
days.
a neutral location, like Cancun. And no contact at all.
Yes.
It will only get worse, and it never gets better. Like I've dragged every one of these guys to a therapist, and let me tell
same.
you,
I've done that too.
Doesn't make a dent.
I did one where we did a couples therapist once, and I was like, she just rattled off all the shit she like hates about me, and I was like, well, I'm not happy either. And she looked like, and the therapist looked like, yeah, I mean, clearly this is a two-sided relationship. But she was like, how dare he have problems? I was like, that was helpful, actually. And I could tell there was a moment where he was like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Yeah, the therapist's like, well, I'm getting paid for this whole hour, but we could stop
me,
right
by the
now.
way.
Yeah.
I'm paying to listen to this shit.
Whenever Sam's dated like crazy women, I will say, Sam.
So whenever
your
Sam's
girlfriend now is,
dated
like,
anyone, Except,
He finally got the coolest fucking girlfriend ever, who's the best.
For sure, she's awesome.
She's actually like, there's the easiest person, the coolest fucking. Every girl before her, I mean, like a lot of the. Sorry, let me get less specific.
Let's just say Sam's had a type.
I will say that Sam but he's such a comic that even when he's in the middle of complaining, he'll be like, "That's funny, right?" Like,
yeah. Some might call that a mental illness.
Sam would be like,
Yeah, you're not in therapy. I don't think you're supposed to be like, is there anything there?
Yeah. Hey, did you record this guy? Listen back.
and Sam would do an impression of this girl he was once dating like years ago, scream crying. It was one of the funniest impressions I've ever heard. He's like, "I've been up all night." And I was like, "What happened? What was she doing?" He was like, "Just screaming." You'd be like, "Ah!"
That was tough.
That
He's
is
like,
tough.
she screams for like 6 hours in a row, but it is funny. Like,
But I might get 90 seconds out of that. I might get a nice chunk.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
fucking night terrors are fun. That's a fun one.
I used to have night.
Did
I
you
used to-
really?
I used to fucking get up and walk around and shit. Me and my brothers would like scream, and I don't know what the fuck it was. I didn't have like nightmares. I just would like be like, "Ah!" and I would be fine. It was so weird.
really?
Yeah.
And when did it stop?
I don't know. I guess. I mean, it wasn't a problem in college, so I can only assume by then.
So
I think-
all you and both your brothers had night terrors?
Yeah.
And
we
you just
did.
wake up in the middle of the night screaming. at the top of
Somebody
your
would be
lungs.
screaming. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
no, I've
fucking
heard.
weird.
I don't think I've had it, but I mean, I've dated a couple with night terrors. It's
couple?
Yeah, it's very
That's
strange.
fu-
Well, they wake you-
Statistically, that's insane.
it is crazy. And also, by the way, both white girls in the suburbs. They didn't
Yeah.
fucking serve a nom. But just screaming like crazy.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, anyway, man, just if you need any more
Run it back,
information,
yeah.
just go hit her up. Who gives
Hit
a
her
fuck? Next question.
Hey, Stavvy. Hey, Elvis. Hope I can get some advice for someone who's newly back out on the dating market. And it's been a couple of years. I was, dealing with some sickness, and I don't know. I'm back ready to go, though. Back ready to
Nice.
start dating. And I've noticed that people just refuse to wear condoms anymore. Like, condoms are gone. What happened?
I don't
Feels
know
like
about
every
that.
time get to that point with a dude, he's like surprised that I'm like, okay, where's the condom?
People.
What?
And I
That's
don't know
kinda
if
wild.
Like a condom, and I don't know if that's like an evolution in things in the last couple
No.
of years. But I just got done
Bring
being
Darwin
sick.
into this.
I'm like not out here trying to catch anything. I mean.
Yeah.
I guess I could get on PrEP. I don't know. But the biggest thing is I
PrEP?
live in Texas. I'm
Oh,
not
what the
trying to get
fuck?
pregnant.
Yeah.
If I couldn't even leave the state, or they'd like send someone after me. It's just not
Yeah, no,
the time or place.
You don't have
be
to explain why you
risking
want to wear
it these
condoms
days.
with
But
strangers.
I don't
Juno
know.
2,
People-
it's a
I
road
feel
trip abortion movie.
like be risking it
Road
these days.
trip abortion.
That sounds like a
But
good movie, honestly.
I don't know. People, I feel like some kind of Pollyanna now out here. Like, I don't know.
Hey.
Do I just need to lower my expectations?
No.
I don't know. What do you think? Or if I, how do I not sound like a complete idiot asking people to cover up before we fuck? I don't know.
Have I met a
Thanks,
woman that's
appreciate
less
it.
confident than you?
Yeah. I know. It's like, what are we, time machine a 17-year-old Rachel Feinstein?
I mean, as road comics, I think Stavvy and I were always down to wrap it up.
Of
'Cause
course.
you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
also
a
like,
business decision.
yeah. And it's, yeah.
Great.
Everything
What
else.
beautiful words.
I love that
Business
she's
decision.
like, am I being Pollyannish about this? It's like, no, you're not what fucking. You're still like, this is crazy. No, you just have to. What Rachel said is correct. You have to have a little more self-respect and a little more self-esteem. Maybe you're getting back out there, so you feel a little, you're feeling a little insecure, whatever. But it is insanely reasonable. It's like beyond reasonable for you to be like, where's a condom?
No, otherwise you'll be teeming with a cocktail of diseases.
Yeah.
You can't, you can't. If the guy that doesn't want to wear a condom is the guy that needs to
Yeah.
wear a condom.
for sure.
Yeah, like that's
Absolutely.
not- yeah.
And the gentleman that, will wear a condom, but if you don't make him, that's a good guy. He will if you don't insist. He's just like kind of taking his cues from you. That's a cool guy. You don't have to worry about him. He's awesome.
He's fun. He
He's
wears vacation tops.
What's that girl I've known for 2 hours? You're on birth control? I trust you.
No, much, at least 12 hours. But yeah, no, this is just such a clear and simple, you are fully in the right. You should not raw dog unless you really know someone and you feel, and every person, you don't even have to, I've been in relationships where we wear condoms because someone was off their birth control was fucking them up. And so, and yes, was that one of the most devastating things I've ever dealt with?
I've been there too. It's not fun.
But like a hero, I persevered. But yeah, thank you, Elvis. But yeah, truly, the other thing to also keep in mind here is that like you have these guys really want to fuck. When it's getting to the point where it's condoms are coming out, if you're just like you have to wear a condom or we don't fuck, then they probably will cave. And
it's like a restaurant with a dress code. You can't come in without the blazer. Throw it on.
And also, it's I just think you need to. You just have to, and it's a screening process too of like anyone who's gonna be like, I don't want to wear a condom is not someone you want to fuck. You know what I mean?
Or raise a kid with.
Right? Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
So yeah,
I love that they're gaslighting her. This extent is wild too. She's like, I guess I'm some kind of poly. I don't think either. I don't know that you need to start name calling yourself. Yeah. It's pretty simple. Yeah, same rules for a country club. Same rules for your dick, as Sam said.
I think
if
that's
you need
fair.
a crested blazer to get in. Yeah, I mean,
like this is a Missouri. There's some states you got to make sure to wrap it up.
And I guess maybe just you have to have condoms, but still, it's like I just think this is a bigger issue of if someone doesn't, if you say, "Hey, get a condom," and they react negatively at all, that's a huge red flag. That's a fucking big deal.
I was dating this guy for a while. I had the opposite feeling where I dated this guy for a while, and like. I've only had sex like inside of relationships, so usually I'm used to them just kind of like bothering me until they're like fine. They just get in a relationship just because they want to get laid at a certain point. They're like, fine, I want to be inside you. Where do I sign? Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember this one guy, like we kept going out and he was like, and then he just kept forgetting a condom, like, and it wouldn't be time. And at this point, I'm like, doesn't he want to get laid? Like, to me, I thought it was the opposite. I was like, something strange. I'm like, is he gay? Like, how could he forget a condom this many times? Right. And he was like, oh, I guess we can't hook up because I forgot a condom. I'm like, he should have one.
And then he's like,
yeah.
Or maybe we can.
By the way, he was a cop, so I'm like, he brought his gun everywhere. I'm like, in a lot of unnecessary situations too. I'm like, we're at like a rom-com and you have your gun in your belt. You could remember a condom, bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
crazy.
Great.
That's insane. So yeah, you're fully in the right here. Make them wear condoms and don't date or fuck anyone that really doesn't want to fucking wear a condom. That's a problem. What else, buddy?
Here's just a little something to reflect on, it being the 100th episode and all.
Okay.
Stavvy, baby. Esteemed eldest and guest. Stavvy, quick question. I've watched a lot of your shows. I'm curious, what is a question in hindsight that you've answered that you would answer differently now? Like, do you regret any advice that you've sent out there? Have a great one.
I mean, that for me to regret advice I've given, I would have to remember literally any episode we've ever done. So yes, there definitely is things I've answered wrong, but I don't know, and I'll never re-listen to an episode of this podcast ever. That is a promise from me. But yeah, I'm sure there's things I've said that are fucking stupid. Or more importantly, there's probably like jokes I've regretted not making.
That makes more sense.
But I don't, I feel like whenever something is serious, we tend to be like, go to a lawyer or go to a doctor. You know what I mean? Like if something's really fucked up, we're like, we will answer this because it's still funny, but go to the right people. So I don't know. Eldest, do you have any thoughts? Did you, seeing as you're the only one who knew this question was coming, did you maybe prepare something, or you just want to kind of see what I came up with?
I just want to see what came to your mind.
Nice, man.
I don't really have any thoughts
Awesome
either.
producing, dude. Thank you. That's awesome. Maybe you could have had some examples or something, but no. You just want me to improvise this completely with no warning. go back to, it's the 100th free episode, but it's actually 200 episodes. So you want me to just pull something out of 200 episodes?
I once told a guy that was kind of similar to the first call we did today, where he was like, he just was like dating a toxic girl with like the biggest titties he's ever dated.
I remember that guy.
She's making his life hell.
I remember that.
And I kind of said like, fuck it, who cares? Just like reach out to her. And you and I forget who the guest was, but you guys were like very against it.
Yes.
And I guess I probably regret that. Mainly because I thought he'd get like a bit bigger of a laugh, but it didn't really go
New
over.
picture of you.
That is tough when you go for the laugh, but it is someone's life.
And it just doesn't land in this room.
Up to this point, I always thought you were like this, like just this sweet husband counterpart, family man. And now he's like,
some
I
red
kind
pill
of regret
rage.
telling this guy
Elvis
his
has
girlfriend was abusive, that he should go back to them fat titties.
This is only outlet to be a misogynist pig.
I mean, he was making them sound like really awesome.
They sounded awesome, and believe me, I'd love to
The
fuck the
titties?
lady. Yeah. The lady's describing I would have loved to fuck, but no. We basically what we told him was, hey man, you got to fuck her for a little bit. It's over.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
You still have
That's
the
how
mental
life
Rolodex
works.
in your head. That's right.
And that's
By the way,
kind
you
of.
didn't even see these tits. They were hypothetical tits.
Yeah, but
It's
I
better
don't
in the
know.
mind's eye.
Yeah, but it's like a book. You picture the tits you want.
Yeah.
In your head,
right.
you're like,
Exactly. Wow, that's a cool pair.
Thanks for teaching me about life.
No worries. I feel like we do this every time you're on. We teach you some element of how fucked up.
I know. I always feel like Sandy from Greece when I'm on here. I'm like, what's polyamorous? What does that mean?
All right. What else, LD?
Hey, Stavvy. I've been a listener for a long time. Huge fan. Anyway, so I'm just wondering, my boyfriend's moving in here to my studio apartment because he's like at a certain job, his lease is ending. He wants to see if he gets another job somewhere else that he really wants before he like signs another lease in the area we live in now. And the goal is to eventually move in together and get engaged soon and all this stuff. But we're fighting because he wants to. I have a 585 square foot apartment in the middle of the city, densely populated area, and he's insisting that he needs to bring a chest freezer. I said, what furniture do you need? And today he just goes, oh, well, all I need is my chest freezer. This is 12 to 16 square feet.
I don't know what that is.
And
it's like a big ass.
Suck up my electricity.
Like when you have
It's like a stepdad like basement freezer,
frozen
like,
meats and shit in a big one of those big white freezers.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's not as big, 12 to 16 feet. It's still pretty big. 12 feet is actually.
He's a serial killer. He's going to
That's
make a suit
insane.
out of her skin.
Yeah.
Just something for my
Is
limbs.
my chest freezer. This is 12 to 16 square feet. And it's going to suck up my electricity, which isn't even the problem. The problem is I have nowhere to put it. I was like, where am I going to put your chest freezer? And he said it can go next to the couch. And I was like, I don't really want a giant freezer next to my couch. And he's like, it's not even big. Like, I don't understand why you're upset at all. Basically, like, I'm crazy. And I said, I have a freezer above my fridge. He said, it's not enough because I put too much stuff in it. I said, I'll clear my stuff out. He said, no, I need my meat. Whatever.
What?
This is ridiculous. I'm like, can you take it to your aunt and uncle's house? He's done that before. They've held on to it for him. Not a big deal. And he was like, no, I need, like, access to my meats. And I'm like, well, we could put your meats in my freezer, and then when we need to go get more, we'll go to your aunt and uncle's house. They are an hour and a half away, but we visit frequently. And he was like, no, we have to, like, have the meat in the freezer. The chest freezer that is in your studio apartment next to your couch. This is coming after
insane.
He looked at me the other day and said, we need to move my couch into storage and put a clothing rack in. And so just not have a couch so that he had room for his clothes. My lease is up in December. And I'm like, well, I can clear out half my closet for you, which is the only closet. So I also would only be getting half of the closet. And so I'm thinking...
This is so New York.
This is fucking insane.
And he said, I'm like, where are we going to sit down? Where are we going to watch TV? He said, well, we'll just actually switch the whole apartment around, basically, and then we could just watch TV from bed or something. I don't know.
You need to break up with the
This guy
right now.
sucks.
Yeah.
This guy's atrocious.
This is insane. What are you fucking talking about? It's a studio apartment. It's your apartment.
He's crashing with you for a couple months. He doesn't get to fucking rearrange everything. You're doing him the fucking favor. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I mean, this is the first big apartment I've lived in New York, and my girlfriend has moved so much of her fucking shoes in there, and I'm like, I'm feeling smothered in a 3-bedroom. So I can't imagine how the fuck smothered you feel.
Yeah.
You can't let him do it. It's your place. And meats? Are you fucking kidding me?
His meats that's an amazing. I need to have access to my meats is an incredible sentence.
And the idea is he's there. Let's finish it before we get in, because I don't think there's that much more.
Or something. I don't know. It's just, he's like making it kind of difficult. And so I guess, am I crazy or is he crazy? I mean, his family's very rural. And so they grew up in the middle of like the woods or whatever, and they didn't have internet. And I guess it made him kind of weird or something. But I grew up in like New York City, and why would you need a chest freezer?
Yeah, you don't.
I just don't get it. Anyway, am I crazy? He doesn't think it's a problem at all. He's confused that I'm confused.
Not in Manhattan.
Thank you.
No, he's gaslighting you.
And so, I mean, what I don't understand here is the plan. If that is the plan, right? He's going to crash with her for a couple months.
Until he finds another job that he might get. Also, you don't get demands when you're unemployed either. Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. It's like it's not like, you know, she said the plan is to move in together, get engaged. So it's like they are talking about the future. So it's a little more than like him crashing with her, but it's also very inconsiderate of him. He's coming to take over her space, and so she can't really be like, it's my apartment, because I guess this is step one to them sort of moving in together.
But he's telling her not to have a couch. And to
I
have
agree.
A clothing rack. And
I agree. No, that's the couch thing is fucking crazy. I mean, the chest thing is crazy.
What are you gonna like go into one of her jackets while you watch TV? Like, you need a couch.
Yeah.
You need fucking furniture.
And he's like, we can watch it from the bed. It's like, you don't want to live in a hotel room.
No.
You want to fucking you want to have your own space.
People?
Yeah, that's crazy. This is a fuck.
This is the biggest cause of breakups, I think, in New York is rent being so insane that you move in too soon, and you're like, I can't. You're making me crazy.
Yeah,
I'm in a prison cell with another person.
Yeah, and he's really trying to turn this into a prison cell. I mean,
yeah, it starts with the chest freezer. Then what next? He needs this fucking, bench press in there too.
I know. Chest freezer is crazy.
Also, a man.
It's a fucking studio apartment. You can't have that, man. You just can't. Yeah, I want a bigger fucking kitchen. I can't have it. It's a fucking New York apartment.
And the fact that he's bringing in a clothing rack, to me, I mean, I'm sure I'll get shit for saying this, but no straight man.
There we go.
I'm sorry. The larger issue
Fellas,
here is that he might not want to be inside you. I've had every possible
fucking
argument.
queen with his shirts.
It's like, and then I've got to bring my ring trays and how will it all fit? No, I can't come unless I have space for my velvet robe and my hat boxes.
Velvet robe is pretty straight though. That's like Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, it kind of turns all the way around and is straight again. Because, gay guys need like active robes. They're doing so much sex.
That's true.
The velvet robe is really more of a plush, naked thing.
It's more of a hangout.
Gay guys need a robe material that can be very easily washed.
A waffle robe, if you will.
I won't come without my necklace tree.
How much? That's a lot of meat too. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he is being ridiculous because if this is so important to him, then this can't be the plan. If this is so important to him, then he needs to sublet or do a long-term rental of a place where he has more space. If the plan is studio apartment, you have to live in a studio apartment. You can't have your fucking weird suburban style of living in a studio apartment. You have to just accept that that's what you're doing. And if he wants to save money, that's fine, but it's like that's the downside. And so I don't know. This is weird because this would be so frustrating if someone just is not willing to budge. If he's like I can't. If somebody said that, dude, if you wanted to put a fucking chest freezer here, I'd be like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And yeah, this is a 3-bedroom.
Oh, dude, I am so conscious with space. Just growing up in Manhattan, people would get me like gifts, and I'd be like, fuck you. Where am I gonna put this?
Yeah.
Until this apartment. For years, someone gives you like. My mom would get me a thing. I'd be like, where am I supposed to put that shit? It's like
a sculpture.
Yeah, it's like a fuck you when someone gives you shit when you live in Manhattan. It's aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just aggressive.
Yeah.
And if this is and by the way, if this is why you break up, then you weren't supposed to be together.
Yeah.
For sure. That's another
imagine
good
telling
point.
the story to anybody. It was between me and a test freezer. And he chose the test freezer.
I believe it's chest freezer.
Chest. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I've never heard of this, by the
Yeah,
way.
There's other ways to get protein too. If you're like some workout guy, have a fucking protein shake for 2 months.
But
She said he's rural. I
Wait.
feel like they've had access to like some farm meats or something crazy.
for sure, they're probably
Get,
good
like-
quality meats. I get that, but I also get the desire. But I have like in Baltimore, I do have a chest freezer. I have shit in there, and there's more space. There's less space here, but it's like I can't live that way here because I'm in fucking New York, and I'm in a pretty
So a
big
chest
apartment.
freezer is what? Is like
It's just a freezer. It's just
Okay.
Look at
it's like a giant freezer.
It's one of those,
Okay.
like it's literally what serial killers put body parts in. That kind of
Wow,
shit.
okay.
Oh,
That is
That-
big.
it's probably one of those like
You know
more
what?
rectangular
I got a
ones.
solution. Put cushions.
Oh my
on-
god,
on
it is.
top of
It's that. Yeah,
and then put
that's your couch.
Yeah, and make this your couch.
not a bad
We
couch.
solved it.
I mean, okay, if we actually want to try some level of fucking compromise here, you could get. She says he has a 15-foot. That's insane. But there's a 5 cubic foot one where you could almost use it like a fucking. You put like a blanket over it and you fucking use it as an end table or some shit like that.
Yeah.
There's maybe something you can get a smaller freezer, but there in no way can this motherfucker bring in a 15 cubic foot.
No, that's crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
I mean, if this is your couch, he will have room for his tiaras.
so anyway, good luck.
It's insane.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's truly a crazy thing.
Hey, Stav, eldest esteemed guest. I have a question regarding basically the relationship with my father.
That's
Growing up, I was super attached to him. He was my favorite guy in the world. You know, he'd always do stuff.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to play that one.
Okay, nice, man.
Now I'm invested.
Yeah, fuck you, Eldest.
This guy's listening and he's so excited we're about to help, and now we're like, no, fuck
Honestly,
that
Eldest, a beautiful way to commemorate episode 100. Just a stupid fuck up.
Well, we can listen to it.
Okay, great.
With me and my brother, he was just the coolest guy. When I was 8, him and my mom got divorced.
I need to play that one.
And when I was 11,
Fucking idiot.
It's a
he
long
just
one.
up and
It's not going to be good.
and just stopped all contact with me. Come to find out later, it's because he's gotten some legal trouble and was running from the law. 10 years go by.
His dad was
hear
Bernie
nothing from
Madoff.
him. I assume this man's dead. Then when I'm 21, pops back up in my life. Promises he's always going to be around. Wants to be just a dad to me. And I'm like, great, cool. I've missed you. Like, this is all I wanted for the last 10 years.
Damn.
Things are going good. But then I get my girlfriend, the woman I was dating at the time, pregnant. And kid comes out, and I'm like, I got to be in this kid's life. I have to be. I'm sorry, I left out. I was supposed to move with him before I got her pregnant. And so obviously I'm not going to move with him. He's upset.
He's going to be roommates with his deadbeat
And
dad.
things kind of taper off, and you think he'd be excited because he has a grandchild now, but obviously he doesn't care.
Huh. That's
And
interesting.
so
Why?
time goes by, keeps in contact. I ended up marrying said woman, she's now my wife. We have another kid. She also had a kid from a previous relationship. And so I have 3 beautiful kids, a lovely wife. Things are going good.
That's awesome.
But he calls less and less, and I've literally only talked to him once on the phone this entire year. And I want to have a relationship with him, but I don't feel like I should be the one to reach out. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what advice you would give, if there's any advice, or if I should try to contact him or just drop him out of my life and just move on, you know? So if you can give me an advice, that'd be great. Love your show. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Interesting scenario. I mean, me personally, I would probably say it once. I would be like, hey, this is what I would like with you. That I have resentment towards you for the last 10 years. You dipped out of my life. But, you know, maybe we could start over. You do have a grandkid now, or 3, I guess.
Yeah.
And put the ball in his court. And if he rises to the occasion, great. If not, cut him. You have one chance to tell him. And then, but if you don't say it, you kind of just blame yourself.
Yes,
I think.
I fully agree.
Because he might feel shame maybe for the time he's missed and not know how to get back in. So if you give him that open door, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I think shame, pride, you know, maybe even anger. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what he's going? There's a lot of different reasons why he would be just being kind of being immature and not wanting to be a grandfather. You never know with these people. Sometimes people see it as like, I'm too young to be a grandfather. Like, that's legitimate, you know? If he had you young and you had your kids young, he might be like, I'm not a grandfather. That might fuck up his, like, the way he sees himself. There's a lot of different reasons. But I fully agree with you, Sam. You don't you also don't want to surrender to, like, pride. If this is important to you, and if you think that by just being the bigger man and offering that relationship once, but I agree with you, once. Like, you don't want to fucking overdo this. You don't want to be constantly begging him for attention. And yeah, say what you want. You owe it to yourself. That might be what he needs to hear, and he might be in your kid's life. But I would say, don't fucking hold your breath, right? Yeah. Like, it's kind of what you were saying. We were having this conversation about, like, earlier about, you know, what to expect from a dad that leaves your life and then comes back in, and it's like,
if they're capable of doing that, they're capable of doing that shit again.
Yeah, don't expect anything. Yeah, honestly, say what you want, mostly for you, but don't expect him to come around and, like, yeah, that sucks, dude. If he's not going to be in your kid's life as a grandfather, but he wasn't, you know, he partially wasn't in your life, so.
I see why Eldest didn't want to pick this one.
Yeah, this one's not funny. It's a downer. If I were him, maybe I wouldn't.
I will say this guy should listen to Gary Veter's podcast, Number One Dad.
That's
It's incredible and fascinating. And Sam, also, your advice to Gary in that podcast is so interesting. And it's about Gary Veter, whose dad, won't say too much, but left his life. And it's like very
great podcast.
Loved it. He killed it.
Gary's dad is a con man and a fucking insane character. And yeah, listen to that. Listen to that fucking podcast. And I don't know, when does this come out?
October 28th.
It's October 28th now, as we all know. Let's Start a Cult is in theaters right now. Go fucking see it. We gotta start. When we do ads, we gotta fucking put it in. We gotta put this shit in. I keep forgetting to plug this movie that's only gonna be seen if I promote it. There's no other. It's like there's a studio around it. Yeah,
that's how we built our whole careers, right?
Yeah.
You just promote shit, specials, tours. That's You're made for that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, not a great call. Kind of a downer.
It was on the short list because I figured Sam would be a good one for that. Sure. But then I was like, yeah, maybe it's a little too long, long-winded.
A lot of pauses too. It was very dramatic. Well, the nice thing is, was reading that shit.
Yeah. The good news is we listened to it, and it did kind of dip the momentum a little bit.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
Hey, we'll get it back right here with something good, won't we, Eldest?
That's right.
Stavvy, what's Poppy? What's up, man? I'm 29.
Rachel's Puerto Rican ex.
San Diego with my girl. She's dope as hell. She's like the love of my life. I'm asking her to marry me in 2 weeks.
Oh, fuck yeah. Congrats.
Pumped for that. But, okay, look, this is not... I listen to the show, hella, okay? These motherfuckers are crazy who call in. But... my problem might seem small, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about right now.
Okay.
And that is me and my girl, we are both, you know, on the heavy side. We like to eat. I like to drink. We like to drink. But, you know, as bigger folks, my girl's on the Zempic. Yep. She started doing Ozempic. And now it's like hella fucked up because I'll smoke and be drinking, chilling, and it should be time for us to go drive to, I don't know, a fucking Taco Bell or In-N-Out, or when we go out, we get some pickleback shots.
This
Oh
guy's
shit!
awesome.
Now we're faded, and we're doing more of that. And now, I just feel like in that regard, like, of course, at the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm happy for my girl.
This guy's awesome.
But I just miss somebody having, kind of validate it, man. Anyway, much love.
I get this fully, dude. I fully understand this.
This guy's a keeper.
This guy's so awesome.
He's like, I love you the way you are,
He's
baby.
like,
He just
"Come on,
wants
babe.
to hold me back.
Can we get fucked up and eat Taco Bell? Why are you eating healthy, you fucking bitch? I love you. I want you in my life, fat
I've
as
never
shit.
dated a woman who lost weight while we were together, so I can't really weigh in.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, I guess the obvious thing to do here is maybe take the cue and join her. You can still be together in life, and this might be kind of nice, man. Like, I know you want to get Taco Bell, but it's like maybe you learn how to marinate some fucking flank steak and make your own tacos. It's not that hard. I do that shit all the time. Like, you could still smoke. That, but maybe not drink as much or do non-alcoholic stuff. I get this feeling because your life is changing, but this is also part of, I think, a serious relationship is like kind of growing together, evolving together. And, how old is he? He said he's in his mid or late 20s? 29. Yeah. This is also the time, no disrespect, brother, but 30's the time when getting fucked up and eating Taco Bell all the time should probably end. It should become a nostalgic
Stav
treat.
and I aren't the people to deliver you this information.
Truly. It should be a nostalgic little treat. I literally had to just shut myself off from the world for 6 months in Baltimore to not get fucked up and eat Taco Bell. But it's hard. I know it. But if you've got somebody in your life who's making positive changes, I would say try and ride her wave a little bit, brother.
Yeah, at a certain point in life, you have to choose. There's a fork in the road, and it's either a woman or a heart attack.
There's a fork in the road. You want to pick up that fork, and you want to stab some cheesy Fiesta potatoes and eat those. And tell your bitch to get packing with her new fucking skinny ass.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a good problem to have. He's like, I love this girl, and she might save my life.
Yeah.
She's thicker than a Snicker, and she might save my life.
Yeah, dude. So you can either do that or, I don't know, man. If she loses too much weight, get yourself a new fat bitch.
Also, the fun thing is when you order in with someone who's doing this, and their appetite.
No worse feeling though.
I know,
than
but
be
like they eat half their food. You're like, I got
that's
extra.
true. That's true. But there's no worse feeling than throwing out like an appetizer and everyone being like, I don't think I'm gonna get I think I'm just gonna get the salad. And you're like, now you're forced to be like, well, I'm ordering it anyway. Now they strip you of the charade of you not just eating the whole thing by yourself. You have to just be faced with it. Ugh.
Oh, I
hate
had
that.
dinner with my friend Roland Campos in LA at this great Mexican spot, and he's a bigger guy, and he's like, oh, we got to get the nachos here. They're incredible. It's like, oh, cool. He's like, all right, so nachos? Like, yeah. He's like, all right, 2 nachos. I was like, oh, okay.
2 nachos.
2 is outrageous.
I was like, I thought we were splitting. He's like, no, you want your own. I was like, all right.
Honestly,
That's an impulse buy. 2
Salute.
is wild.
It was wild.
How were the nachos?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Salute Roland. He's
Salute
the food
to
guy.
Roland.
He loves his food.
Oh yeah, I know Roland.
You know Roland,
Yeah. So I've never heard his full name. I've never heard him. I've only heard him referred to as Roland.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he is a food guy. He's a good guy.
I always feel like I have a friend and she's like, super skinny, and I feel like she's always comparing our weights, and just like watching what I'm eating, you know what I mean? And like I really like sweets, so I like think about cupcakes when I should be having like more intelligent or complicated ones. Like I daydream about that kind of shit. But then I feel like when somebody's watching you and you're eating, it's the worst feeling. Like I've never really thought about it because nobody in my family really had an eating disorder, but I feel like she looks Yeah, and she also made us compare weights, which my mom did the same thing, which was so obnoxious.
Well, there goes your first
you're
point
right
out the window.
Can somebody just close me like a box, actually? So my mom was like, oh, this scale's broken. You try, step on. She's weighed 120 her whole life. She's always like, I just want to see if it's broken if you're a cow.
What are your favorite?
I dated a girl who gained a decent amount of weight while we were together, and I tried to turn it into positives. I'd be like, I think it's cool that everyone at the ice cream store knows your name. That's really I'm happy for you. It's awesome.
Dude, legit, I've had it be in relationships a problem where somebody I was dating when I was younger, she gained weight, and I was like, nice. I was like, she's getting thicker. I was so on board. She was like, no, I don't need you. I was like, because I'm unhealthy as fuck. So I was like, this is fucking awesome. I was basically this caller. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm turning you into me, and your tits are getting bigger. Yeah, fucking win-win.
That is so true though. Like women, you get bigger, you get the bigger tits, the bigger ass. It's not cool when we have nothing.
There's your dick gets smaller. In fact,
by comparison.
Yeah. It's nothing. Your dick should get a little fatter. That's where the great injustice is. That's why feminism is needed. It has to balance that shit out. That's what
You've lost a lot of weight, Stav.
I've lost a little weight so far.
What did you do that you could maybe you can give this guy a tip?
No, not really. That motherfucker is running his own business and having a family like a fucking bitch. He's not available.
So lame when people get it together.
He's not available to train me 24/7. I had to take personal responsibility. No, I legit was just in Baltimore, and I was just exercising and eating and cooking all my own meals and shit. And it's actually, I am feeling that because I'm back here now, and we're shooting tires soon. I'm promoting the movie. I started doing stand-up again, so I went from like having basically like half a job, like I acted in some stuff this summer, but I didn't do anything else, to having like 4 jobs, and I'm stressed out. I'm stress eating. I'm feeling it. Yeah. I'm sticking with my exercise, but it's like that's the hard part is doing it while you are back to normal. Anyone can if you could just take time and focus on it. So I'm trying to figure that part out now. I'm still, thank God, at the point where, going crazy means eating 2 protein bars and a bag of popcorn and like a Halo Top instead of like
I love Halo Top.
$80 worth of Chinese food. So I'm trying to keep that at bay, but
one thing that helped me that Jessica Kirsten told me is like she lost a lot of weight and she's a really funny comic. Funniest. And she said pack like a lot of stuff because we spend a lot of our lives on the road and in anybody's life they're running around. She's like pack a lot of stuff. So she packs like, all kinds of snacks because I'm going to run into that store. I'm good when I'm home, but if I'm out, I'll get a Snickers I love pizza. She's like, just have a ton of stuff with you.
I know. Good choice, like nuts and stuff like that.
I literally have been like packing, like we did the tires table read and I just fucking packed a lunch and I was just fucking
great.
Yeah, and I gotta start doing that at clubs. That's the other thing. I was having a normal person schedule where I would like go to bed at like fucking 11 or midnight and I'd wake up early as fuck and go on a nice morning walk, and it's like now if you're up till 2 or 3 doing shows, so whatever, I have to figure it out. But let's plunge back into some eating disorder talk though, because I'd love to know your favorite sweets, since you're saying you love sweets so much. Rachel, we'll get to you too, Sam. But
right. I love cupcakes, and I love like vanilla ice cream with like a brownie with chocolate syrup on it, and I love cakes with like layers on them, like red velvet cake, anything where there's like little extra treats. I just got way too excited. Yeah. I'm like, I took my dick out. You guys didn't realize I was a man.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love sweets. Yeah,
so and it's cake. You're big. I
love cake, but really like
cheesecake is.
I eat everything in general. Like, there's not many foods I don't like. I can't think of a food I don't like. I'll eat anything. Like I like just. But I really think about cakes and sweets, and I make my husband hide them from me if he gets it, because I will eat all of it, absolutely all of it. Like I made these cinnamon buns with my daughter, and then I just ate the icing last night, and I was like, "You pig, you fucking foul beast, you fucking look at you, you rat, standing over a fucking garbage can, just cupping icing into your face, like." So I put it.
So good though.
It's so good. I love icing.
Like cream cheese icing.
Oh my god,
That's
yes.
Fucking good.
That's great
Carrot
stuff.
cake. How?
But you ever eat it and then you look at the serving size behind it and you're like, what the fuck have I
You do
done?
not want to look at nutritional value for icing.
I have to pour something on top of it, otherwise I will take it out of the trash.
No, I know. There's soap is the key because trash is nothing.
You poison yourself.
Trash is nothing.
Yeah.
Like I actually have a joke. I have a joke.
Yeah.
I'm doing this new hour, but I was like, you don't think I've taken a banana peel off an egg roll before? You don't think I've done
That's
that?
great.
And it's like you gotta put soap or like.
That's good.
Sometimes if I have like a bag. Like I took to the beach, just put sand over in the trash to make it fucking sandy.
Sand is a great one.
It's tough because it really ruins the. And sometimes I've tried to eat through even those experiences, but that'll stop you. Okay, nice. And you're a cheesecake guy?
I like for candy. Rolo is my go-to.
Ooh,
If I'm at
Rolo's
a
good.
truck stop, I love Rolo. Hershey's cookies and cream, fucking amazing.
It is good. It's the one Hershey's that you can take to compete with better chocolates.
Yeah, because the Hershey's regular is like a fucking hand job.
Sucks
it's like
dick.
you're like,
You know what?
It's a bull.
I won't. That's
Hand
disrespectful to hand jobs.
All right, fine. I'll agree with you on that. A Snickers is a hand job.
I'm not. Thank you. I'm not a big Snickers guy.
It's fine. It's solid. The ice cream ones are good.
Do you
but-
like
ice cream's
marshmallows?
great.
Because I feel like people hate I love a fucking marshmallow.
Yeah, I like
Why are
it.
people against marshmallows?
You have like very like the Great Depression just ended tastes in desserts. You're like cupcakes and layered cakes
lollipops.
and icing and marshmallows. you're the technology. You
Right,
have like
it's the same as my taste.
yeah, for
Like,
real.
but he winked at me
frosted
when he got
pretzels.
out of prison.
Yeah.
You have the frosted pretzels? Those are fucking
Oh yeah, I'm a
good.
big chocolate covered
yes.
pretzels guy.
I like vanilla, but yeah,
Yeah.
either way.
I also
like
like for a
those.
meal cheesesteak and pizza.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolute classic.
Wow.
Because
Nothing better
do
than
they have?
cheesesteak.
Oh yeah, I mean that is a Maryland thing of the carry out that has pizza, wings, and a cheesesteak all at once. Whereas I feel like other parts of the country, it's like, I mean Philly has it too, but it's like pizza places will not have.
In New York, they have like Heroes. I feel like
What's that?
Heroes or calzones.
Not really. Oh, they won't. They don't. I don't think
There's a couple by me. That
I don't
do the
think
Heroes,
most
I guess.
pizza places in New York have sandwiches and
We
like
call them
wings.
subs.
Subs, yeah.
By the
yeah.
way, I think there's like this crazy quiz, a New York Times quiz that's called "Where Do You Come From?" But it's fascinating, and they can guess by all. Like they ask you like 9 questions, and it's what term. One of them is what term do you use for like a foot long sandwich?
Oh,
some
yeah,
people say
sub.
Hero is what they say in New York. Is it
Yeah, I
hero?
think so.
Yeah.
And Morril is a fucking sub.
Sub, yeah.
Well, who says grinder?
It's like Buffalo or Rochester up there. I
How about
think.
like hoagie? Who does that?
Hoagie's Philly?
Yeah, and like some people have words for the night before Halloween. Like some people call
Mischief
it Fright
night.
Night or Mischief Night. It's
Yeah,
foolishness. But anyway,
People used to call it Mischief Night. I was too good a boy for Mischief Night.
but what's your favorite dinner? Before you
Dinner?
go? Yeah,
Ah, jeez, that's too hard.
last meal. And
It
then
would
move on.
probably be Korean barbecue, honestly.
Korean barbecue's
It would
great.
probably be just
You
a
love
very
it.
high-end Korean barbecue.
I like all the ads. We've done it together before. I love Korean barbecue.
I'm due for another one.
I had it recently. I saw my buddies playing the band AJR, and we saw them at the Garden, and we hit one of those. I think we've been to this place on 32nd.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
spot.
that
Have
place
you
is
ever
The
been
whole
to
block.
Korea? I went there for a military tour. Best food I've ever had.
I did
Yeah.
a military tour, but I only had one day off, and I was super. It was like the summer before I moved here. I was 25 or 24, I don't remember, and
If it was me and Joe List, I'm like, dude, I accidentally booked us in North Korea. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I want to go. I really want to go back to Korea, though.
It's incredible. That's my favorite trip I've ever been.
I want to go back for sure. All right, Elders, you have something nice to take us out on here?
How about I have a couple updates I kind of want to get in. For
All right, it's the
100th.
100th episode. Let's do it.
Hi, Stavvy. Hi, Eldest. Hi, guest. I am a returning caller, so I'm calling with an update and a new question.
Great.
I am the girl whose sister's boyfriend was flirting with her.
Oh yeah.
I took your advice.
Wow.
I remember
I
that.
talked to my sister. She was actually not entirely surprised
Hilarious.
because apparently he had like made a couple of three-way jokes,
Three-way?
haha, about all of
fucking
us.
your girlfriend's
So,
sister and
she
at the
broke up
same
with him.
time?
That's over.
Good.
That's done. Thank God. But I'm calling today because
Pause
on the
this.
very first episode,
It feels nice to hear like our advice actually work. Like this is open and shut, talk to your sister, and it immediately ends to him breaking up with a dirtbag. So that feels good.
Yeah, and it wasn't even her sister having like no idea. She had a sense.
She was
but
like,
this
yeah.
is just even just talking to her was like the push she
Guys,
needed to hear it
talk,
out loud.
You don't even have to listen to the show. Just leave the voicemail and then go talk to the person the question is about, and it will always solve your shit. But anyway, go ahead, Eldest.
thank God. But I'm calling today because on the very first episode of Stavvy's World with Sam, you stated that Stavvy's World was unapologetically anti-breast reduction. But on the episode where you read my question with Joe List, he was saying that he doesn't like long, sagging, big boobs.
He's a good
with
driver. He has no
big
taste, though.
nipples.
Yeah, Joe really is a
and
strange guy.
I'll keep it real
keeps
with you, Stavvy. That
Joe keeps talking about high heels in bed, for Christ's sake.
I know.
He'd rather
Joe's, got into women through penthouse forums or some shit. I'm like, what the hell is this?
The fuck does he know about?
He's still reading his porn in magazines. Stacy works by day, but at night she wants to be the pile drive.
All right.
big boobs with
Nice.
big nipples.
Sounds pretty cool.
Wow.
And I'll keep it real with you, Stavvy. That's what your girl is working with over
Nothing
here.
wrong with that, sister.
Thought about getting a breast reduction.
No, don't do it.
Boo!
They also
Be wise.
They lift. They make the nipples smaller. The whole tits improve.
Mm-hmm.
For reference, I'm 5'11", 170, and I wear an E or an F cup. So they've always been disproportionately big for my body.
Sounds pretty
You know what's
cool
crazy?
to me.
I heard my girlfriend's
God,
plane
we're done.
crashed. So if you want to hang sometime, that'd be cool. What is it, honey? No. Oh God, I'm so vulnerable. This is crazy.
So if I got reduction, they would still be big. They wouldn't be, too small.
Okay.
Or anything. But I feel like part of my identity is that I've always had big boobs ever since I've had boobs, you know.
Sure.
They've been big. So that would be kind of hard to let go, but it'd be nice to have
Sam's empathetic
pretty
sound
boobs
infuriating.
and not wear a bra and stuff. So, when you have a question about your car, you call a mechanic.
That's
When
right.
you have a question about your tits, you call Stavvy's World.
That's absolutely right.
I want to know what you think.
Absolutely true.
Guess thinks, what eldest thinks. Is size more important, or is the shape, the perkiness, the nipple, the whole kind of package? Is that more important? Love you guys. Love the podcast. Bye.
Well, thank you again for calling in, and we're glad the first question, our first advice worked out. Now, yes, philosophically, I can never go on record as in support of a breast reduction. It's simply, I can't. My hands are tied here. It would just, politically, it would cause a whole mess if I was ever on the record as pro breast reduction. However, and
however, what are you doing?
Just don't worry about
people will revolt.
Don't listen to what Joe List says. He's
go.
out. Now,
Also, as a feminist, can I just say that, and I start all my sentences that way?
Yes.
Can I just say that it's called titty downsizing?
titty downsizing, we're so against. Now, I am listening when you frame it as a titty improvement, though.
They're still going to be fat, remember.
Yeah, and she's going for sturdiness. If she's
I don't think
making
they're gonna
it
be
smaller,
that fat, though.
yeah, I do like. Yeah,
I think there's something awesome about big ass titties sloppy.
I mean, Whitney
fucking
was just on our pod,
spilling
and she
over.
was talking about how her tits got so big during pregnancy that you get like a blue vein. She goes, it was disgusting. And I was kind of like, is that gross? I kind of like
Sounds pretty cool.
titties are like Levy's and Katrina. I'm like, it's not going to hold.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm fully with you. That's fucking awesome.
You know what infuriates me is how as soon as she started talking about how massive her tits were, you guys both got more gentle with her.
Well, we started respecting her
therapy
more.
voices since like he's making the same noises a psychoanalyst uses.
Well, this is a serious
Let's
question.
handle this.
Rachel, show her some respect, goddammit. She has huge tits. I will not have you talk down to her that way.
These things need to be handled with care, Rachel. I think you understand. This is very
You
important.
guys sound like the voice of lube. Infuriates me.
Look, okay, so that's my philosophically. I can never be on the record. I also do have another opinion, which is your body's your, do whatever you want. Your body, your choice. So
It's a good tone of voice to say that. Like it's in quotes.
But also she said that these big tits are part of her identity. You don't want to change who you are. Be true to you.
I agree with that.
Think about that,
Yeah, so true, Sam. Yeah. Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to
Most
say
of it's
before
been covered in the children's books I read to my daughter.
No tits too big.
Be true to you when it comes to having a fat rack. God damn the both of you.
You want to stop crying? We'll get you some new tits. You ain't turn 18. We get you the biggest tits you've ever seen.
Nothing's too good for my sweetheart. What do you want, baby doll? A fat rock with some nice, new, shiny titties. You're worth it. Remember that. You're fucking worth it.
Your choice, honey. You want a French bulldog or some big, juicy fun bags? What do you think?
I mean, I always say when you're trying to decide whether to downsize your rack or not, the first thing to do is to call stop.
Yeah,
It's not a discussion with your doctor.
I guess it's going to be hard just kind of with no visuals. I guess
It's
that's
not
kind of a
she's
big
still
problem.
going to have a lot of rack left. And if we could play some softer piano music during this. She's still going to have whatever they play during the Oscars and in the memoriam section. I like playing while I'm talking about it.
We need some DMs, and please be gentle, because remember, I just lost my girlfriend. And it can only just be described as a terrorist attack. So yeah, we'd love to know more. Is what we're saying.
But
I think like if you're making you uncomfortable, and I'll let you guys finish coming while I finish talking.
Yeah, go ahead. I gotta take a little nap while you say this boring bullshit.
Does anyone have a cigarette, by the way?
While you guys order a pizza and empty your balls, I'll discuss this operation or no operation question. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you still have a lot of rack left, which is what my grandma always said. Again, I keep coming back to my grandma.
She was such a wise woman.
She was Rosalind Schneider. She really understood life. But no, I mean, if you still have a big rack, which is part of your identity, which is another secondary chapter. That's another fucking after school special. But I feel like then just do whatever's most comfortable for you, and you guys can still come to her hypothetical titties.
I guess. So yeah, two competing schools of thought. It's up to you to decide what you think is right, and we're rooting for you in those big old titties. You have another update for us, Eldis?
Yeah. Yo, what up, Stav and Eldis? This isn't really a question. I just wanted to say thank you for calling everybody out for being a fucking coward when it comes to talking to women, because that was definitely me. And I took it to heart. I was being a fucking coward forever.
Excellent.
And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Stop being a bitch, man.
There you go.
And I've been talking to so many bitches lately. Like, God, my life has literally turned around because of this.
I think you only heard part of this, sir.
I'm being serious. Like, I'm 20, turned around because of this. It sounds fucking retarded, but I'm being serious. Like, I'm 25, and I'm talking to a 44-year-old bitch. Like, that is some shit out of my dreams. I never would have thought I could have done that shit before, but I literally just stopped being a bitch and went for it. Like, fuck. Thank you, Stav.
I just have so many different feelings about a man in one. He's like, when it comes to struggling with my confidence stuff, you really have to change the ways. And now I come up to every gash I see. And then I point to my own dick, nod, and wink. Fuck.
Whatever it takes. He's a young man. Maybe he's a little rough around the edges right now, but we love to see a success story here at Stavvy's World. Particularly one that, leads to some MILF pussy. So
yes.
Good for you, man. We love to hear it. That's awesome. I'm taking nothing but positives from this.
Good luck with you and to your bitch as well. Good stuff.
He said it angrily, too. Like, now when it comes to these holes.
Wow, that's awesome. Is that the final one?
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for being on the episode. And I want to say thanks for everybody for listening. 100 episodes, 200 if you count the Patreons. The podcast has actually been so much more successful than I thought it was going to be completely honest with you, and more fun than I ever thought it was going to be. I did not really want to do the podcast when I started it. I'll be honest. I had just left Cumtown. I had lost all my main source of income, and I was like, fuck, we got to come up with something else, Eldis. I can't pay you to make clips. I'm fucking running out of money. Podcasting sucks. But then we came up with this concept. It's been fun as shit. I get to talk to my friends. It's always fun. I have the funniest people who do it. It's been awesome talking to you guys through your voicemails and then through the live calls. And somehow, 2 years later, this has become my favorite thing that I do, and I don't think we're going to fucking ever stop, to be honest with you. It's just fun as shit to do. So thank you. Here's to 100 more, and we'll see you next week.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
New tour just went on sale. The Errors Tour. It's Sammy's new tour.
Love it.
Check it out. All on my website. I'm heading 45 new cities, so
Hell
I'm probably coming to see you.
You're on the bus, baby.
I'm on the tour bus for the whole time. So literally, like, pretty much, if I'm not coming to your city this round, I'll be there in the fall. But 2025, the Errors Tour.
Love it.
Errors,
Great.
great.
Just to sound like Taylor Swift. That was the plan. So that some dude can be like, I got Errors Tour tickets. And women are like, yay. And then they come to my show.
And they're so mad.
Yeah,
Also, watch my hour special on Netflix. It's called Big Guy, or go to my page on punchup.live. What is it? Punchup.live? What is
punchup.live/Rachel Feinstein. I'm on that too.
Or Rachel-Feinstein.com to get tickets to see me on the road. And I have to say, 100 episodes.
It's amazing.
Them is no small cans.
Big fat titties amount of episodes.
Man. Pod is awesome.
Thank you. And thank you to Eldis. Bad at his job, but the #1 producer in our hearts.
Needs a little je ne sais pas.
Je ne sais quoi.
Just quoi, whatever.
The dream team, dude. You guys crush it.
All right, we'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.